instance, am I late? This is not how this works. Also, we're laughing.
Alright, sure thing, Shep. Of course.
Okay. Let me fix things. Things are already all set for the most part. I just have to make sure things with my screens are good.
I still haven't sent the press release.
Well, you better get going. You got 5 minutes before we start. For real, for real.
Okay, I have to adjust volumes for everything on my end.
Cool.
I have a slightly like stuffed nose, which is also fucking with my ears a bit, and so things sound slightly quieter than they should be for me. So I will fix this up on my end.
Oh shit, you're live. All right.
Yes, yep, we're live. We're here. Why, were you gonna say something that would get me banned? Is that what you were gonna do?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Of
No, it
course
just
I
means
will.
that I gotta pull up the chat.
Okay. Let's try not to get me banned. Try being the operative word there.
Shep, I'm Italian though.
No promises.
Every second sentence
Let's
is technically
put
a slur.
let's put in an active effort to not get me banned. You know?
Okay.
That would be.
I'll try to tone down the Italian today.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me change my thing. I am no longer in anime New York City. We are no longer there. We're back in Boston.
Boston.
Boston?
Boston?
Yeah, that's how we say it here. That's how
Okay.
you're supposed to say it. Why are you acting like this is weird? You're
I was
weird.
making
You're
sure.
making this weird. You're making this weird.
Fucking damn it.
You're making this
Okay.
weird. Boston is a very normal place, I'll have you know.
I've been there.
Right,
actually.
right.
Okay.
But only once.
Well,
Boston?
Yes, I've been to Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, I saw all the cars.
In the Harvard Yards?
Maybe?
How many CVS's and Dunkin' Donuts did you see?
Oh god.
I thought they weren't called that anymore.
That's crazy because I can literally imagine in my town where there is a CVS and a Dunkin' Donuts within half a mile of each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We have them like every 5 feet from each other.
That's crazy.
Okay, I don't remember that part, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, well then you weren't really in Boston. You're just lying. You're just lying when you say you were in Boston.
Look, Shep, I'm not a fan of donuts. I don't know what to tell you.
What? Huh?
You prefer Timothy's Bits? I understand.
No, I don't like either.
It's fucked up. A little fucked up, but you know.
I don't like either. I don't know what to tell you.
Fuck is Timothy's Bits?
Timbits. Tim Hortons?
In Canada they have Tim Hortons, and in Stem
Oh.
Munchkins they're Timbits.
They're like fine.
I just think it's funny to say Timothy's Bits, you know?
Why do people gotta be outside? Go away.
No, I can hear
Well-
you like drowning. You okay there?
Would you prefer them to be inside?
No, I don't want anybody to be here.
Just why are there
Grab a
people?
gun.
Why are there? Whoa, 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 whoa! Let's calm down now. Let's
Something here.
easy
Let
now,
it go.
easy now. You're still,
we gotta make
you're
this
still.
a Second
Listen,
Amendment.
listen. I know we're talking about New York and Boston, okay, but you're supposed to be in Canada, okay? You're not supposed to be too crazy about the guns yet. All right, let's calm down.
What do you mean yet?
Listen, don't worry about that. Okay, let me.
You're trying to imply something. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to imply here.
I never know what you're trying to imply ever. Okay.
Okay, I was pretty explicit in what I was saying. Just
No,
now,
I don't
okay?
think you ever are. Like most of the time, you're not actually, and that's what gets frustrating because we have to get you to be explicit.
Alrighty, you know what? My bad.
I'm just saying, I'm out here stating facts and hoping that eventually in the middle of the stream, as I'm talking, my ears finally pop and then I can start hearing again. This is what I'm hoping for during
Dude,
the
take
stream.
some Sudafed.
I don't think I have that.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Wait, you don't have a what?
Sudafed. It's a decongestant.
Who what now? Nine,
Oh my
you're
God.
speaking American again.
What the? I'm gonna fucking kill you.
They're talking about very specific sinus medication, which I don't have.
Okay, good, fair. All right. I'm just not familiar with it, I guess.
I
That
took
sounds
like
a you problem, babe.
I took like an Allegra earlier today, which I'm pretty sure will not help with this and has not helped with this. So again, I feel fine. It's just that my ears are stuck and won't pop. So now it's fucking with like how I hear things.
I would make ears pop. How would do it, Chad?
Well, I've tried different methods. I tried looking up Reddit methods of like other ways to do it.
Your first mistake.
No, I tried looking with that beyond what I already would usually do to pop
Okay.
my ears. Okay. It's
Not so
right now
mistake,
it's just
though.
that they're congested and it's fucked. I'm not gonna be able to do shit about this until it's like calmed down or whatever. Shit's fucked.
Sucks.
But it's fine. I can still talk.
I'll
I
leave
can
for
say
now.
I can say words, but the real question is, can I piece together all the mysteries involving Umineko?
What the hell just
Okay?
happened?
There's a lot that happened. So let me post about this stuff in the areas that we are live on.
Most importantly, your mom's Apple smartwatch.
Well, we're already on all the platforms. I just need to post in like I need to post
You
in
don't
here.
Post on your mom's Apple smartwatch.
I do not
just watch
post on your
stuff there?
mom's Apple smartwatch. She's just naturally watching the stream on her
Okay,
smartwatch.
unfair.
That's just how that works.
I wasn't familiar with the format.
Yeah.
There we go. I can think of words.
Sure. Yeah,
I
you
love
can figure it
words.
out.
It'll make sense eventually.
Will it though?
Much like Umineko.
Will it
Yeah.
though?
Yes, I have faith in my own ability.
We're like halfway through the series.
All right, it'll make sense eventually. We got time.
Do we though?
We got mystery to solve.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what you guys
Just panicked.
I'm on the case
Just
right now.
panicking before the stream starts. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Look, nine, it's fine. We can be dumb together, okay?
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. In the grand scheme of things, I understand the weird, like, witch politics that's going on. When it comes to the nitty gritty of, like, what's going on between Battler and Beto, that's where you totally lose me. Which is unfortunate because that's what half the manga is.
Only half?
Shush.
All right. I think we are ready to go. Is everybody here? Is everybody ready?
Durando? Ari?
Turndo, quick audio
I'm
check. Is your audio working?
Yeah.
Are you alive?
All right, we're good.
He
Okay.
speaks.
And let me
You
just
speak
turn
it.
up a couple volumes. The volumes might be perfectly fine for the stream. They're just not fine for me. So I have to. So,
We're in the
so-
world of intentional self-sabotage. Wait, trying to
so
tell me.
things might be slightly louder for the stream as I attempt to be able to hear what is happening. Again, I pray that my ears randomly pop midstream. It
You
would be
back up, Jeff?
amazing. What?
You
What
need
do
me
you
to
want?
talk up?
What? What?
Never mind.
I don't even know what you were trying to say.
You need me to speak louder.
Huh? What are they selling? Sudafed? What are you talking about? Timothy's
don't.
bits?
I'm gonna fucking
What?
kill you.
All right, let's get started here. Welcome everybody to another exciting week of the Anime Book Club here on youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, and kick.wolfborg.com all at the same time. Here on the regular time this week, or the regular day, I should say, Thursday, or as I like to call it, Wednesday last week, but this week it's Thursday. We're back on the usual day that we will be streaming. I am back from New York. As you might be able to tell from my voice, I have a slightly stuffed nose. I'm overall fine. I'm not like sick or anything. But my ears are slightly plugged, and so it might be fucking up like my ability to hear some shit. Overall, I am fine though. So if my voice sounds a little annoying to you this week, fucking deal with it. and then you will enjoy my clear voice again next week. Okay, so don't worry about that.
If you want Cheb as best, you gotta have him as worst.
True. I would share the New York City stories or whatever, but I don't. I'm too sick right now to want to deal with it tonight. So let's just. Well, I'm not sick, but it's more just I don't feel like talking too much while I'm dealing with this shit, unless we're talking about the Umineko stuff. So let's just cut all that stuff out and begin with this week's stuff. Umineko When They Cry, the finale of episode 4 of the series, which marks our halfway point of the series. So this is going to be volumes 5 and 6 of episode 4, which finishes up episode 4. So before we get started, though, let's introduce the cast that we have here this week in alphabetical order. Aremia, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aremia. You should read Umineko and also Please Be Happy, which is going to get a Japanese localization. Yay.
Based. Yay. Go ahead and do all that. Be sure to be able to read before you get into visual novels, though. I don't know how to, so
it
it's
can help difficult. You read, too.
Really?
Like, I would think you could learn how to read from them.
Oh, I can adapt? Okay. Yeah.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
I believe. All right, well, thank you so much for that. Next up, we have me, Chaplain, a.k.a. Wolfborg, a.k.a. Battlerborg, as we read Umineko, okay? Witches are not real, magic is bullshit, and I'm here to prove all the things, solve all the mysteries. That's what I do here. Now, one thing that I will say, my trip to Anime NYC that I will highlight, I did not find any Umineko cosplayers myself, but I was told by several people there that there were a couple. I was told that there was a Beatrice and a Battler at some point, but more specifically, I heard from people that they specifically saw a Lambda Delta and Burncastle together at some point. So
yay, lesbian!
So hell yeah to them. I have not seen photos of these cosplayers anywhere online yet, but they're probably somewhere, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Again, I tried to make an active effort to see if I could find any Umineko cosplayers myself and take a photo. I could not do it. I was also told there was an Angie there. An Anje. And again, did not see it. So, but what I did get, okay, I have in my possession, in my very hands right now, the USB hard copy physical release of Umineko, okay, in all of its Battler with random Beatrice head glory. Did I put the photo in the chat somewhere? Can I drag this onto stream? Wait, hold on.
It's in Dev Talk. Have fun.
It's in Dev Talk? Well, that'll be fine. How often do we talk in there?
In Shell Stream. You absolute fool.
Yeah, no, that's actually even better. We barely talk in there. That's fine.
God damn it.
Yeah, you really thought you were cooking there, weren't you? You thought you were cooking there. You were like, Chap's gonna suffer today. He's gonna suffer. No. Okay, so first of all,
Chap, you're sick. You're already suffering. What are you talking about?
I think it's very funny that when you plug it in, it just has Beatrice as like the USB like logo for like the drive, which is already amazing. Okay.
She's taking up your hardware space and she's laughing.
But you have about like 1.5 gigs free on the USB too. You can put other shit on there, all right? For free. You just put other shit there.
Like more pictures of Vito.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
This is my Beatrice storage USB.
Okay, what was the other?
Takes a lot of gigabytes.
Images that we took. Oh yeah. So I can't believe Umineko's so good. They made Umineko 2. Look at this. It's Umineko and Umineko 2. That's amazing. Actually.
Oh shit.
That's amazing. Already a sequel.
What is that?
What? Are you breaking apart?
Umineko
is that me?
2.
So Umineko 1 is the questions arc, which is what we finished reading up to now. Umineko 2 is the answers arc. Which, funny enough, when I go to install the questions arc, which is the next image I was going to post here, when you go to install the questions arc, and then asks if you want to run the answers arc, which is not what you just installed, but it tries to ask you if you would like to run that.
Which is the answers first, and then we'll start asking questions. Okay, it's like Columbo.
When you install the answers arc, it does correctly tell you to run the answers arc. I thought it'd be funny if it was going to tell you to run the questions arc, but it did not do that.
It's just to fool you, you know.
Wait, but where did I put? Oh,
That's
okay.
okay.
Playing in the wrong order, and she's laughing.
Here it is. Here's the actual photo of the USB. So this is what this shit looks like. If I can make it small enough for the stream. Oh my god. There has to be an easier way to resize images with Discord. There has to be. Or not Discord, OBS. Look at this shit.
Sorry,
look
Shep.
at
Suffer more.
look at the Battler. And it has a light on the bottom. When you plug it in, like it lights up red.
Or
Love
like
that.
orange.
But it's just, I just like how the top part is just Beatrice's head. And it just looks like it's decapitated. So you just put, I thought it was, for some reason, I thought we would design something like you'd get the top part like a head, and then the connected part would be a body. But no, it's just Battler's down there, full body, and then just a Beatrice head just floating above Battler. I don't know what that's symbolic of.
Decapitated, and she's laughing.
I don't know what that represents. But
It's going
I
to
ha-
represent what happens at the end here when Valor kills Beatrice. I'll tell you that much.
here's the other one thing I will say. Okay, this USB makes me feel powerful. Okay,
I'm
because
sorry.
I can at any point in time. All right, people are worried. Okay, if you plug in a random USB into some computer or whatever, like, you know, that could have any kind of weird virus. I can just go to people's computers and install Umineko, and you know, what are they gonna do about it? Play Peak? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Like,
160 hours of peak.
I just listen. It makes me feel very powerful knowing I can just walk around with this kind of thing and just install multiple copies to people's computers. I just think that's funny. I think that's neat. Anyways, next up we have Shadow Man. Introduce yourself.
I'm Shaman B4. The thing I recommend is making fun of the last guy that shows up.
Who would that be? Who would that be? Who would you be referring to there?
We all know who we're talking about here.
Do
Who
not
would you-
download
Let me
Umineko from a
explain.
USB, as it will install a program called Umineko on your hard drive.
True.
So true.
All right, look.
True. Listen, again, I was not late, all right? Just because you were all in here before me, okay? Several of you were saying that you might be late, I'm pretty sure, okay? But
Okay,
none
several
of you
isn't one.
I
Yeah,
thought-
dude, I was stuck, I shit you not, on 1 mile of road for 30 minutes on the way home. Traffic was unreasonably bad today.
Jeez.
So I didn't know when I was gonna get home. But it all turned out okay.
And all is Daijobu. Amazing.
Yep, it was all a ruse to make us show you're the last one that showed up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you thought that we were gonna be
Explain
late,
this
so
in
you gave
advance.
yourself a little bit more of leeway, and look
I
at you
know.
now.
I know.
A fool.
Oh, hey
We
guys,
deceived you.
I just got a press release. Oh my god, we just got a press
Shit.
release here live.
Press release.
Please
Wonder who
be
that's
happy.
from.
Please be happy. Japanese localization announcement. Holy shit. Can you guys believe it? Holy fuck. You should go check that out.
Christmas, just a week
It's
away.
Christmas, just a week away.
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet, but you should play it on English. It's in English,
It's-
so you should play it on Steam right now.
It's just a week away. Right? Right?
I like
Right?
Ari
No,
consistently accidentally cutting herself off when she mutes. It's really funny, to be honest.
It's not
Mad
accident.
comedy. Oh, okay.
Accident,
It's
okay.
even better then.
All right, so Please Be Happy is being localized into Japanese, so go check out Please Be Happy, and if you know Japanese, go check out the Japanese localization, I guess. So go do that later, whenever that's out. Is there a date when that's confirmed to come out yet?
Nope.
Okay, well, go check it out eventually. I guess you're just gonna have to follow
Just
all
a
their
week
socials
away.
until it comes out. You're just gonna have to do that. So
True.
because
Just
we
play
don't
it
know.
in English right now,
Yep,
and then when it
And
comes
learn
out in
Japanese.
Japanese,
yep.
just be cognizant of when it comes out. You know, just be aware. You know, refreshing every single day, and then play it
Everything.
again.
In
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah, naturally. So go do
Yep.
that. Go do that. This is not if you're interested, you will go do this now. Go do that. All right. So Shadow,
I've
did you
already
have
have,
anything
though.
else? We were still on your turn, Shadow. Shadow, did you have anything else you want to say? Because you just
I'm
ended
just
with a bit of
saying-
making fun of me, and it was very fucked up and evil.
When the boys to get together, okay, you don't show up 5 minutes early. You show up an hour early. It's much like going on a date.
Why? Okay, I don't think that's I don't think that's true at all. I don't think
When I was
you always
when
show
I
up an
was
hour
in,
early when you hang with the boys. I don't think that's how that
when
works.
when I was in choir, the rule was early is on time and on time is late. So you were always expected to be at least in the practice room at least 15 minutes early.
Look,
Wow.
okay, I was a college student that showed up like several hours early to class.
All right, that's a bit much. What?
The
I gotta
lights
be
were
at work
on.
before class. What the hell?
Wow. Amazing. I was on time though, so I'm tired of this bullshit. Anyways, next up we have Nyan. Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Nan Bacon, the Bacon Witch. I'm here to smack Battlerborg down and prove that witches are real and magic
What
does
the
exist.
fuck? What the fuck?
Yo, the plot twist.
Why is this happening? This is bullshit.
Did I say you may also hear me referred to as Ann or Andy? You may also hear me referred to as Ann or Andy. Today for stream snack, I have Cheetos.
Ooh.
And you should go follow my Twitter, the Nyan Bacon. I post my trying to draw for every day of 2024 thread on there, so you can see all the stuff that I do this year.
Oh my
What
god.
flavor Cheetos though?
Just the regular ones.
Damn, we need flaming hot. We need the flaming hot
I don't
Cheetos.
like spicy food.
Oh,
No,
that's
no, no.
fair.
You get the spicy popcorn flavor. That's the one.
Fucking what?
Yeah,
Yes,
the spicy
this
popcorn
isn't
flavor.
a joke. This isn't a joke, by the way. This isn't a me
Hold on,
making
hold
a
on, hold
goof.
on.
No, I've had it before.
That sounds disgusting. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't like spicy popcorn.
Well, yeah, but you're like that's not the norm to hate spicy food. That's coming from me too, so that says a lot. Anyways, thank you so much for all of that. And next up we have Turndo.
Oh, hello everyone, I'm Turndo, and I like to read.
And that's all you need to be here. So welcome everybody. Once again, the council is now convening to discuss the end of episode 4 of Umineko, the halfway point, the end of the questions arc, I believe. That is correct, right, Arimia? This is the end of the
Yes.
questions arc? Okay. So, we have quite a bit to discuss. The first thing I'll say is this is jumping a little bit to the towards the end stuff, but I just wanted to say real quick. I thought it was really funny that this was like the end of the questions arc, and then my assumption was going to be we were going to get a lot of the answers in the answers arc, but then it seemed like they were giving us a bunch of answers towards the end of this in rapid succession.
As you do.
But then they flipped it around to be like, actually, that might not have answered fuck all. And I was like, oh, all right.
It's not just some things, okay?
It
Valor
did.
got some W's.
We did get some things confirmed or whatever, but a lot of it turned out to just be, well, maybe we'll make Battler think that he won, but he really didn't. Well, I mean, he did not win in the end with that game because of the one thing, but that was the whole thing. It was Beatrice is all I have to do is make him not be able to solve one thing. So I can only I could do half confirm some things so it makes him feel like he's getting right answers in other things, but as long as he doesn't get the one thing that I know he's not going to know yet, I win. And I mean, but we'll get into the specific details of that later. I just wanted to bring up that I was getting worried. I was like, oh no, are we just going to get all of the answers right now? When we had a whole intermission stream planned where we were going to come up with theories about that, I was like, am I just not going to be able to say anything because we were just told all the fucking answers already?
If that was the case, then I assume Ari would mention something.
Well, because yeah, I was assuming that kind of thing, but I was worried because I was like, does Ari know that they say this much stuff here or whatever? I was like, I don't know. But I was thinking to myself, are we just going to be told all the answers now, and then the answers arc is actually just showing us how the episodes were actually supposed to go, when you take out all the fantastical shit or whatever? That's what it was going on in my head, but I wasn't sure. But now I understand more where we're getting at with that kind of stuff. But let's rewind for a bit, okay? We go back towards the beginning of the volumes. This is covering volumes 5 and 6. So, first of all, before we get into these exact volumes, Nyan, because you read the previous volumes, but you were not here for last week, right? Do you have anything you wanted to mention about the volumes prior to these ones?
The biggest thing, and I actually ended up bringing this up in the class that had me read that really really dense textbook that was like, these are the core pieces of narrative, and I was like, Umineko does not abide by these rules. Was just the fact that it was kind of frustrating to get to the end of that reading and immediately be presented with George and Jessica killing each other, because you had like so much buildup and so much development for them, and I get that that's like a consistent pattern, but it felt like this particular one was not like exciting, it was like demeaning. And I think it's because of the 180 that Gap pulled in the portals. I didn't get to the end of that and I was like, wow, I want to read more. I got to the end of that and I was like, is this what the rest of this is going to be? Because that was not enjoyable. I did not think that I did not like the ending of that. But I continued reading for this week and it kind of worked itself out. But I did not have good feelings at the end of last week's reading.
I think I was mentioning similar in our discussions last week, where one of the things that annoyed me about the last volumes was the fact that, like, I'm being shown all this stuff and I'm like, this is all just not going to be how it went down in the end. I know that this is not how it went down in the end, so just show me the bodies that happened afterwards. Because you're trying to tell me some fantastical story about what happened to cause this, but I know that's not what's going to be the result in the end. Like, I know we're just setting this up to be like something where later on we're being shown how their bodies look, and it's trying to be like,
and
well, it could have happened
like
from this
so
stuff, but
bullshit.
Yeah,
too. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the fights between George and Gap, and like particularly Jessica and Ronove, because you know they were going through all of this stuff with the magic, and then it was like Gap and Ronove were both like, "Oh, I actually wasn't showing you all of my power," and I was like, "Okay, thanks. Like, you just ruined that entire reading for me."
Rip. What were your impressions of Gap as a character otherwise from that?
They didn't give her the side boob slit in the dress, and I was disappointed.
True.
What the fuck are you guys talking about? I'm
in
sorry.
the visual novel sprites that Ari sent last week, she had a giant, like, her dress is two pieces. There's a front and a back, but it allows her to show side boob, and she does not have that in the manga.
No, it's not a side boob.
It is side boob.
It's a side front, okay? It's the entire side exposed.
Yeah, but there's only one part that that we care about, okay? So
her ass is out, okay?
A tits person, not an ass person.
True.
And I'm just saying that they didn't include that in the manga, and I was bummed.
You know, it's occurred to me that I'm not paying attention enough. Ever.
Well, I mean, again, this was not in the manga. This was in the visual novel with how it looked.
I know, but when I looked at the picture, I should have realized that, but I didn't notice that.
That was the first thing that I noticed. It's not subtle. If it was like, oh, her like a shade of pink that like was a little like closer to her skin, I'd be like, oh, okay, like that's subtle. Nah, her dress bright red, her skin pale against it. Like, that is not hard to miss.
I'm just picturing like Andy at home looking through the Discord chats after the stream because like they couldn't make it, and they're like, "Oh, this character looks hot. I can't wait to see them." And then reads the manga. It's like, "What did they do to her? What did they do to her?"
What did they do? No, literally, what the fuck? I had a horrible migraine. Last stream, I was seeing shit. I had like shit in front of my eyes. It was not good. So that's why I wasn't here. But now I am.
That was Beatrice. Beatrice is doing that to fuck with you.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, one more thing, Nyan.
Huh?
Okay, what is your
Oh, Battler did eat! I was so mad about that!
I'm trying to remember. When did he eat?
He eats right at the end before he's going through all of the deductions. And for some reason, they have, like, the battler that Bito is fighting suddenly be the pawn that he was in, like, the 5th game or whatever. And he's, like, eating something as he's drinking wine. And I was like, Battler, what the fuck? But, he's stress eating, so it's okay. He still has anorexia.
Okay, all right. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay,
The Battler very tactfully eats, okay? The
Very
first time it was to fuck with Beatrice, and now it's stress eating.
And now it's stress eating. I stand by what I said. I'm not going to put it together a theory about the murders. My entire thing is just going to be proof that Battler has anorexia.
Well, there's a lot of secrets about Battler that we get into this time as well. But before we get into
one more thing though.
Yep.
A9, how does it feel that the witches also by the generally accepted accounting principles?
Turando laughed, so I'm going to assume that was a joke that he got and I didn't.
It's an accounting joke. Her name is
Yeah.
Okay.
Gap, and they're called the generally accepted accounting principles, also known as Gap,
Gotcha. I'm an artist. Why would I know that?
because everyone has to pay taxes.
But that doesn't mean I love that logic.
hold on, let it cook.
No, I'm just gonna leave it. No, you're right. You're totally right. I don't know why I questioned you. I don't know why I do. No, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
How much money
All
been laundering there, Beatrice?
Okay. All right. Let's. Where do we even start? So we start with the whole bit with seeing George and Jessica being tricked into killing each other in that fight sequence, which was all bullshit. Okay, it never happened, so I don't know why we bothered with spending so much time on it other than it looking good, I guess. The important thing to focus on, though, is that we had a Kraus punch immediately afterwards, and now it sounds like we need to hear an explanation from Ari about why this is so disappointing compared to the visual novel. What happened?
So, basically, you get Virgilia. She's assembled all of the goat henchmen, whatever, the goat butlers, and they're coming after our main group here, and they're like, oh no, there is no exit except for going through her. She is blocking the only exit, and with her is this giant goat butler. He's not huge, but he is bigger than the other ones. So, probably like 8-10 feet tall or something. A bit big. And they're like, oh no, what do we do? And Virgilia's, she's standing there. She's like, she's standing right beside him, and she's like, this is, there's no escape for you now. There's no way you can get out of this. There is, like, all of the goat men have surrounded you, and here is the toughest goat man that was ever been created, and he is ready to pummel you, and any punch that he does is going to just completely decimate you in one punch. And what is all of that dinging sound?
Yeah, what is... Hello?
And there's this little counter in the bottom
Hello?
right corner while she's talking, and every time there's a ding, it goes up by 1. And so she just kind of ignores it at first, and then the more she talks, the more it keeps going up until she's like, hold up, everyone, stop what we're doing. What is that noise? What is that counter? And meanwhile, the human side, they're sitting there plotting. They're like, okay, well, Cross is like, look, guys, there's no way out of this, a Cannon, he's barely holding on after, fighting these things. Shannon's a defender, she's not going to be able to really help us, but I took boxing in college, okay? I think I can do this. Kyrie and Cannon just look at each other, and they're like, this man is dead. But they're like, okay, well, you're kind of our only hope. And so he's like, don't worry, I've got this.
You're my only hope.
I've got this. And they basically, they do this math that's the boxer's math, where because he ends up lucky and lines up his hooks just right in the way that it's multiplicative math, that all of the counters that the goat man had been assembling were they were losing counters. It was death flags. He kept tripping over these death flags that kept popping up while they were talking, and it just completely decimates the goat in one punch. True One Punch Man Cross. And it's a scene that is it's the funniest thing in Umineko, but it would have taken an entire chapter to do here in the manga. So it's
And
a
that's
shame.
a problem?
Yeah, why didn't they do that? What the fuck?
They should have. It's so
we
funny.
Can
It's
extend,
just
we can have an 80-page
it's
chapter.
so out of nowhere, because then you get Fail Girl Virgilia, where there's a little there's a little frame in the manga. I don't think I took a screenshot of it, but where like they're like running past her and Cannon's like bowing to her.
No, I have it.
Oh, that's so cute.
And she's like, "No, come back, yo."
Yep. She's like, no, please. Virgilia. Episode 4 is Virgilia's fail girl arc, and I'm here for it.
True.
Could you
There we go.
define fail girl for me? I have a general idea.
You saw Virgilia
Was
here.
What does it sound like? What does it sound like? What does it
You
sound like
fucked
it
up.
means?
You made mistakes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's pathetic.
That's
It's
pretty
pretty
much it.
pathetic.
So kind of like Nyan.
Damn,
Wow.
it's fucked up. Fucked up and
Also,
evil.
you know I'm not a girl, so I can't be a fail girl.
Damn.
It's a
State
Okay.
of mind.
State of mind.
Listen, failure has no gender in reality. Okay, failure is something we all have, except me.
I said
Actually,
kinda.
I'm the only one who doesn't fail.
Battlerborg.
I've never failed in my life. Name one time. You can't do it. You can't do it. Anyways,
Yeah, how'd that Final Boss Sly Cooper 1 go? You know, just
so anyways, I beat that boss, so I don't want to hear it.
Get sick.
up
So
to like 10, 20
I'm not
tries.
sick,
We're
okay?
there for
It's
a
my
good bit.
ears that are weak, all right? I'm strong, all right? Just because my ears are weak, that doesn't mean shit. Anyways, so Kraus
Someone
One
failed
Punch
to
Man
arrive
in
on
the...
time today.
That's not even true. I was on... All right. Kraus One Punch Man, okay? So...
The best character.
This is what we're talking about here, okay? We had the Kraus One Punch Man, we had the Virgilia Fail Girl stuff. It's just like a very quick little comedic scene here, which I'm assuming, like you said, is a lot more drawn out in the visual novel. I don't
It's
know.
very drawn out, and it's almost like excessively so, but that's kind of the point.
Right.
That it's just like a super comedic farce of a scene in this gritty area, and then immediately goes back to murder.
I just find it really funny that we chose to highlight Kraus for this when he's like one of the characters we know the least about right now,
Yeah.
other than Kinzo, pretty much.
Alright, look, okay, he has moment, okay.
So now we know one of his defining traits is he was a worldwide boxing like pro, I guess. I don't even know
Look,
if you would say worldwide boxing pro, but he was just like good at it. I don't know, but apparently there's math involved.
I think he said he could have gone pro, but I don't remember.
Well,
I
Listen,
think
Jessica got it honestly.
I
It
think
was kinda like
specifically what I
Shadow,
said,
I'm
because I was talking in my community server about it as I was reading it, and I think specifically what I said was, get his ass. I don't remember his name, because I genuinely forgot Kraus's name, because I thought that he was annoying and a loser, so I just never paid attention when he was on screen.
Alright, Nyan. Okay, he was the first one to know the gold was real, and here you are.
Yeah, I don't like him. I think he's a little
Based.
bitch. And so does
Based.
Kenzo, so, like, I don't know what to tell you,
know,
man.
he was pretty funny, these
Kinzo thinks all of his
ago.
children are fucking losers. That's why. That's the big thing about this whole episode is that he's the bad guy or whatever. But also even prior to this episode, because apparently we're told one of the big things later on is that Kinzo was not actually alive in any of these arcs at the beginning.
But he
That
was.
Whoa,
No.
It's not
spoiler!
real.
It was
Spoilers.
confirmed in red. Confirmed in red later. Okay, this is not. Listen, but anyways, where am I getting to next? So that whole scene happens. Then we have the actual like death scenes, I guess, because Battler doesn't find the bodies until like later or whatever. But the where Jessica is not dead yet. After that, we're presented it like Jessica's brought back to life briefly by Ronove for like a little bit, and then they're going to die so they can do whatever they need to in their last
I
moments
thought
or
that
whatever.
was interesting because my first question when I saw that was, is Ronove doing that to be a fuckface to Battler, or is Ronove doing that because he has maybe a little teeny tiny bit of a heart? Because it's like Ronove is such an interesting character so far in that, like, it's like every so often he has a little bit of like oh, like you can tell that maybe there was once a human in there, and he's not quite as evil as the witches are. But then also, he's a demon. So I thought that was kind of interesting because Ari said yes to both, so I'm assuming that it was a little bit of both. But it's hard to tell what his intentions are, and I like that about him.
That was one of those scenes where I felt like Ronove had like a lot of respect for Jessica after how hard she was fighting, to the point where she was having magic like happen on her end, in order to try to break through or whatever. So like that, I mean, he's somebody who also respects Battler in a way because of how he's facing against Beatrice, is how it's presented, at least to me. So yeah, it's probably something like that. But also, that was probably bullshit, and she just got like half killed by somebody, and then like later on somebody came back to finish the job, or she just naturally died over time or some shit.
From blood loss or brain trauma or something like that.
Yeah. So it might not have actually been like a kindness that was done for her where she was able to live for a little bit. It might have just been like an accident that she was still alive a little bit, but she was alive long enough to place a phone call, which goes to, I believe Battler answered it. And it was essentially her saying, yeah, I'm pretty much dead.
So's George.
Good luck. George is also dead. I saw it, but I'm not going to tell you how I saw it, but figure it out.
Little fucky wucky.
And then his body was found like very far away from her. So that was obviously a question later, like, how the fuck did she see it? And he was like, it's too dark and stormy outside for her to have seen him from the window. So how the fuck's that's supposed to be a mystery that we don't fucking, that we're supposed to wonder about or whatever. But
what if I just stop wondering?
True. We could just stop thinking and accept witches as a reality.
I'm awful close to just not thinking about it
That's
anymore.
what Beatrice wants. Beatrice wants you to stop thinking and just accept that it's all witches and all magic.
That's why Nana's a team witch, you fool, Jeff.
I can't wait until we get further on.
So
also because of Sakataro. That's mostly the reason why actually.
Sakataro is a whole other thing.
So glad he came back.
So before we get into that, the other mystery, before we get into, because that stuff is going back towards the like 1998 stuff or whatever. I want to talk briefly about the remaining, because it was pretty quick, the rest of the stuff that happened with the actual fourth game, where the other phone call Battler gets is from Kyrie, who narrowly makes it out, although Kraus gets fucking destroyed, I think, by the bunny girls that are still sniping at them. All around, like everybody's getting killed. Shannon gets sniped, Kraus gets sniped. Kyrie barely makes it alive for a bit in order to place a phone call, and then is also killed. But she specifically made a mention to like golden threads through locks or something like that, and that pretty much left it vague and just said good luck and then died.
Oh, by the way, they're definitely not human.
Yeah, there's a big emphasis on that from Kyrie.
If you see them, do not even consider that they might not be human. Or that they might be human.
And then Maria's just like...
They're not human, yeah.
Meanwhile, Maria's just saying the same shit and smiling creepily and is the Joker.
Well, and then like around that time when Battler was thinking about it, he was like, that's literally what everybody told me. It wasn't just Maria and Kyrie, but like also Jessica.
I think he literally says a line like, it's like almost like a conspiracy that they're all trying to like do to me specifically.
Everyone's in on it. Everyone's trolling me.
I would not be surprised if this all just turned out to be the entire island fucking with Battler. I feel like that would be amazing trolling. I feel like that would be really funny.
Hey, Battler, you finally came back. Here's your late April Fool's joke.
Fuck you over.
Because again, up until the very end, when he sees the bodies, they mostly are just like, we hear some people in phone calls, but we don't necessarily know if some of these other people are alive or not. They make it sound like they're dying, but I can't see their bodies yet. And then, like towards the end, we see him finding the bodies or whatever.
Hold on, all right, remind me. Did they mention the date that this happened?
What date?
Like the date, like these events take happen.
On the 4th and 5th of October.
God damn it.
1986.
Okay, because the events all start on the 4th, and this extends until the 5th.
I think that the Rokenjima incident happens on the same date every time.
Yes,
It's
the same 2 days
Anj's-
repeating.
It's Anj's story when we jump back to like 1998 or whatever, where that like timing gets a little convoluted.
I was gonna say, it's a late April Fool's joke.
It's a really late April Fool's joke. At that point, it'd be more of an early April Fool's joke.
So Maria answers the phone, is very excited and happy about whoever was on the line, and then goes to do her game. Then Battler picks it up and is like, who the fuck was she talking to? And it's fucking Beatrice speaking French to him? Is that what she was doing?
I think so.
English, what?
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on.
Très bien, merci. That's English to you? I know you guys are working on the Japanese localization over there.
I didn't know you were working on a French localization too.
It's Canadian English, actually.
Oh,
God.
okay. Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah, we got the Quebecs.
So Beatrice is answering it. It shows us like a shot of Beatrice just chilling out, drinking, like lounging around, speaking French for a bit.
She got hammered.
You know, she's having a blast. She's having fun.
She got so drunk, she changed her language.
She's having fun until she's not later. And she's not having fun later when she is like, huh, Battler, you don't know this thing from 6 years ago that happened? Oh, I'm not happy anymore. I gotta stop playing this fucking game. This is bullshit. But do we jump to talk about that first, or we go to the 1998 stuff that happened? We'll probably go with the Battler
The
stuff.
1998 stuff.
You want to do the 1998? Okay, so the 1998 stuff.
Well, because you have to explain why Anje exploded during the Battler stuff.
I feel like you don't need the 1998 stuff to explain why she exploded during that scene. But I mean, it works.
Yes, because it's that she forgives Ava and her aunt, like in that moment. And then, like, that particular version of her transcends into when she was falling from the building and and like merges with her version where she was exploding.
I feel like you're jumping a lot of steps with that, but I understand what you're trying to get at. But in general, when I say I think we know why she exploded there, it's presented in that scene as she's revealed that she is Anje and not just a random person named Gretel.
What a plot twist, huh?
But obviously, yes, what you're saying is correct in that, like, it's also like representative of like them like dying from falling off the building towards the beginning that we saw, right, or whatever. So, but yeah. Okay, let's rewind back to the 1998 stuff. We jump to her and Bungo Stray Dogs guy, whose name I still don't remember, on a boat. Okay. Bungo Stray Dogs guy.
Bungo Stray Dogs guy? That's my favorite
Bungo Stray Dogs guy. So they're on their way.
This is going to be on the quiz, if there is one.
They're on their way. We're finally actually continuing the 1998 stuff, which I don't remember if we actually had much continuing with that in the last week discussion. I think we had like more of the backstory of Anje's past, but like not continuing the further stuff yet. So it was good that we actually got to continue that. It was mostly continuing to explore Maria's diary and going through, as I predicted at some point, they were probably going to go to the island to investigate that in their current year to personally either revisit it or like investigate some of the nearby areas or whatever. And so specifically, they go and talk to a couple people. They talk to essentially surviving members of some of the people that were on the island. I think it was like one of them was related to
family members. They're all family members.
Yeah, like Dr. Nanjo's son. And there was another person. I think it was the Kumasawa woman.
It was the first one was Nanjo's son, who's a doctor as well. And then there was blanking on her name. The maids, the older lady's grandson.
Okay. And the important thing that we find out from talking to them is that after the incident happened on Rokunjima, they were all mysteriously sent keys to safety deposit boxes, I believe, which had money
Yes.
or gold in them, or was it money?
I think it was
Money.
cash.
It was
Yeah.
cash money.
Straight
And-
up cash.
And I think several of them were like, that was a little too sus for me to want to touch it, so I just didn't. And Anji was like, wait a minute, I got that too. This is where we know, like, for whatever reason, which in my view was supporting the theory that I brought up last time, where was that several members of the family are probably not at all dead. They're just faked their death and are assuming new identities to get out of debt. And perhaps this is them trying to give money to their existing families that they've had to leave behind to do this stuff or whatever. But again, I still don't fully buy that theory at this point with some of the other factors involved. But I still think that would be funny.
Though.
I still think that would be funny. If it turned out none of them actually died, and this is all just bullshit stories they were trying to come up with to fake their deaths, I think that would be funny. But I also don't think we'd be doing stuff like leaving Anjay behind with that kind of theory. So I don't understand that. Maybe they were like, don't worry, Ava will take good care of her. And then she absolutely did not. So I don't know. Anyways, they make their pilgrimage back. There's a discovery in one of the houses, I believe, where Anjay's like, oh my god, what's that? How is that even possible? It truly is magic. And my assumption is, or was at the time, and then later on we were shown something which pretty much confirms it, that was Sakutaro, I believe, because they didn't show you it in the scene. She's just like looking in some closet area or something like that with like towels and shit. And I'm assuming she found Sakutaro in there. And then we have a whole scene later on where like Beatrice is trying to say that she could not bring back Sakutaro in red. And then she attempts to at some point say that this is the only one in existence, but like she can't finish saying it, implying that there was more than one Sakutaro. And that's probably why in that scene we were able to see Anjay give Maria Sakutaro back because of that kind of thing. I don't know if that implies that there was more than one Sakutaro made by Rosa herself, or like if this was something
you
made
could
by
argue at that point that maybe it's because there are so many of those weird fragment things. Sakutaro exists in like all of or some of those different fragments, but that could also be bullshit.
Well, what immediately went to my head is, what if Sakutaro turned out to not just be a personal thing that Rosa made for Maria, and it was just like a whole fucking toy line? Yeah, like a mass-produced toy line.
That'd be brutal.
I was like, that would not be beyond
you were just
Rosa
lying?
to do. So
No, it would not.
it would crush
Sakutaro
Maria.
was so
out
good.
there.
We got Sakutaro too.
Yeah. So that was a whole segment that happened where she finds that, but we just ignore that and continue on with our journey. They end up back in Rokujima Island, where I don't remember if they made it clear why she wanted to go back there. My assumption is to like try to investigate more, but it seemed like it might have also been like kind of like a visit the graves of my family members kind of memorial deal.
Closure thing.
Yeah, but it turned out to be, what if I just leave Bungo Stray Dogs guy, I go by myself, and then whoops, it's the evil aunt who has been mysteriously absent for most of this episode after she was introduced, and now I'm all by myself, and her goons are here surrounding me, and I have told the one guy with a weapon who was with me to like stay behind for reasons, and now I'm just all alone on an abandoned island who could very easily die, and they would make it look like an accident, and they're rich, so they'll get away with
Bungo
it.
Stray Dogs guy didn't even try to follow her. That's kind of cringe.
Well, my assumption is that she did, or he did, and that's how several of them were getting like killed, right? In reality, at least. That was my assumption. My assumption was just that like we're seeing it in a fantastical way, but in reality, it's probably the Bungo Stray Dogs guy is like sniping them.
Even off screen, he's carrying.
It's so true.
He doesn't need to be there, okay?
Love Bungo Stray Dogs guy.
And we had it was a whole like segment with a big fuck you like interaction between what is the woman's name? The Sumadera like aunt woman. Was the evil aunt like fucking around with Anjay. I don't remember her name, but the evil aunt is like, we have to prepare the tea room or whatever, and then just beat the fuck out of Anjay. She's like finds the notebook or Maria's like diary, is like, oh, this is her weakness. I'm just gonna turn the page, laugh at that, tear this page out, crumple that shit up. This is a recipe to turn like, what was it, rain into jelly or some shit like that. I don't know. There's like
some good ass tech. Why didn't you tell us that?
There's different times with like, children's like spells or whatever to try to make life like more fun or whatever. And she's just tearing it up and laughing at Anjay for being like, oh my God, this is so stupid. You're so stupid for reading this shit. Maria was also fucking stupid probably. This is all very dumb. I'm going to keep mocking you with this. And then we're being shown like that she's being influenced by like the Dark Witch, who's I was assuming Avatrice. For a while, but I wasn't fully sure of it until the end where they literally say, yes, you're Ava or whatever. So I was like, okay, so it is Avatrice. So Avatrice is just corrupting things. I guess it's very thematic that it is Avatrice still for this, because Anjay basically saw Ava as like an enemy to her as well before she passed away. I did want to say that I do find it interesting, and I thought about this while I was reading these. I do find it interesting that most of these episodes have their own like events that happened on the island, and in several cases have different outcomes for different people. So like in episode 3, we have an actual survivor who leaves the island in Ava. But then that continues on with episode 4 in the 1998 world, at least. Which a little bit confuses me, but I don't know if like I should think too much about that, because it could just be something like this is actually just the future world of episode 3 and has no bearing on episode 4 at all, with the events that happened
better
or whatever.
Better yet, it's just Beatrice fucking with Battler.
I mean, that's highly likely because all that's bullshit anyways. None of this actually like it sounded like, from what we saw at the end, none of episode 4's 1998 stuff happened. She just jumped off the building and fucking died from the beginning. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I thought the Hiroshima fan was immune to fall damage. What the heck? I've been lied to.
1 second. Okay. Okay. So. Again, we had it was a nice scene with the whole Anjay versus the evil aunt and the Dark Witch Ava, like corrupting them and whispering like, hey, do this evil fucked up thing, this will really fuck with her or whatever. Like being very evil, but it's all presented like fantastically, where like she summons the 7 Sisters of Purgatory to help her out in this fight, and the dudes are ready to shoot her with the guns, and the guns appear like they are not working on them, and they're getting like blocked or whatever, and actually it's deflecting on them and they're getting shot in the chest is what it appears like. But in reality, it's probably more so that they're getting fucking sniped by Bungo Stray Dogs dude. But they're all like at the same time being like, what the fuck is going on, and being like, why does she keep saying these weird cryptic things, and now we're dying or whatever. And the aunt's probably losing her shit because now all her guards are dead. And
Ari got so mad at us calling him Bungo Stray Dogs guy that she won't remind us what the aunt's name is.
Oh, sorry. I don't remember what her name is.
See, we're not crazy.
Well, I guess that speaks to how unimportant she is.
We can't call her Bungo Stray Dogs woman. We can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't look like a Bungo Stray Dogs character.
No, don't Trendo does, okay?
Evil Auntitrice, okay? Evil Auntitrice.
True.
I'm
Just call her Chimera.
I see. Kasumi. Kasumi is the name. Let me show on the stream. Thank you, Turndo.
It's Kasumi. Once again, in our moment of
Turndo always coming in clutch, TBH.
Oh my god.
Man.
Maybe one day we'll learn what Bungo Stray Dogs guy name is, you know? Maybe one day. Not today. Not
Hopefully
today.
it won't remain
Probably not
mystery.
tomorrow or the
While we
next day
wait for
because
Stray Dogs.
I don't even know if we're going to be revisiting him for a while now in the story. I don't fucking know. We'll see.
Oh, you know what, Shadow? You're so right. Let's do Bungo Stray Dogs as our next book club reading.
And then we'll learn his name.
Does that even
Dude, true.
did that even have a manga? I don't even know. I know I had an
I don't
anime.
know.
Yeah, it started off as a manga.
Well, I don't know these things. That's why I'm
Most
asking.
things
I don't
start
need
with
you
a
giving me
manga,
this
actually.
attitude about it. I'm asking a question. Be nice, okay? Be nice. Anyways,
No bullying, says Chef.
Hey,
out
hey,
here,
hey.
I'm actually me, okay?
I mean, I would too.
All right, so evil aunt destroyed, facts and logic, and probably sniper rifle for all I know. And then we have like a whole like meta confrontation between Anjay and Ava, but it's again all like metaphorical. I'm assuming, but then they make it look like Ava's gun backfired on her, which is I guess thematically like good, like fuck Ava for how she treated Anjay or whatever and all that, but. I still was just confused the whole time because it just kept in the back of my mind being like, wait a minute, why Ava was supposed to, from what we saw, Ava was already dead in episode 4's game or whatever, the fourth game. How is she even alive in this world for to like impact this story in episode 4? If episode 4's game is different than that, but again, this is where I'm just like, this is probably just a future potential world of what could have happened based on the episode 3 world, and I don't know. Anyways,
Reading Umineko is like that gif of Eleanor Shellstrop from The Good Place going, "This is the bad place."
true.
For the first time.
Yes, I understand.
Every single time that we're like, oh, I wonder what's going on, I'm like, oh, it's just like the bad place where they're actually all in hell. They're already dead, and this is just their eternal punishment for like being evil, like the Uroshimiya family. That's all I can think about.
What
Like
did
half
we
the
do
time.
wrong?
This is actually what happens when you get into so much debt. This is how you get fucked with. You get into
This
an
is what
eternal
happens when you replace your
time loop
real
with
child with a
Richard.
body double.
This is when the tax man comes for you.
If you get too bad with your debt, yeah, they send not only do they send you to like a collector or whatever for them to get your debt, they hire witches to entrap you in an eternal time loop murder mystery in which your entire family is like systematically sacrificed in several different iterations until they get it just right for you to be able to find a way to pay them back. That's how that works. Just solve the epitaph.
Yep.
As long as you do
Personally,
that.
I don't.
Kinzo was trying to tell them.
Back to trying to solve the epitaph.
Well, I mean,
Please.
that's what Kinzo said when it was his turn this time to like be the bad guy in the game. He was like, "Listen, I gave all of you a chance to solve the epitaph. None of you felt like doing it, so that's off the table now.
So,
Fuck that
fuck
shit.
you.
Now, who gets all my stuff? Probably none of you fucking losers. Maybe one of the grandkids if they live for tonight. But for now, I gotta kill some of you." And then that happened, which is based kind of. All right.
Personally, I only believe in one kind of magic, and it's called taxes.
True. Okay. Now we go back. Again, we see the shot where it looks like we just cut to her falling from the building, and it's probably just means she actually just died that whole time, for all we know.
was
But then
all
we
one
see
illusion.
the whole sequence where she appears. I don't know if this is. I believe this is supposed to be the meta world. Type thing that we had going on where she's talking to Maria and Beatrice in this scene and essentially trying to like do good for Maria at least because she has discovered Sakutaro again and is able to bring back Sakutaro, presents herself to Maria as the witch of resurrection because she brought back Sakutaro and basically just saying fuck you to Beatrice for acting like you can't bring back Sakutaro. Kind of making Beatrice seem like a loser for not being able to bring back Sakutaro. And Beatrice is weirdly like I tried everything I could or whatever, but like Anjay just like found it. So it's like did Beatrice know? No, I mean, I guess she wouldn't have known because she went to literally try to say the sentence in red and then it didn't work. So she must not have realized that that was the case, that there was another Sakutaro that existed. So, I mean, there is still the question of why there was another Sakutaro, whether there was only 2 Sakutaros or perhaps there were many Sakutaros. If perhaps after Rosa destroyed the first one, if she went to make another one and just hasn't given it to Maria yet, or something to that effect.
I'd like to point out that while you're talking about this, I think it was the end of volume 5, the meme comic was about Anje as the Witch of Resurrection finding vessels for the family.
Yes.
As she brought them back. So I feel like a lot of this is up in the air, but I feel like it could be argued that maybe she gave Sakutaro a vessel that like wasn't the same stuffed animal, but was a different vessel. But that would be heavily based on the idea that those memes in that were like somehow canon to that particular version of Anje.
What were some of the other vessels? It was like, Rudolph's was like a membership card to like a club or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Ava was a diamond and gold statue of herself.
Based.
Kinzo was a statue of Beatrice.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Beatrice.
One of them got put into a canned mackerel t-shirt.
Canned mackerel. Oh, that was a reference to some other joke.
Okay.
I think was it something like the old lady's living relative was wearing a shirt related to that or some shit like that.
Okay.
I forget.
And Battler obviously was the little hair beads.
Yeah.
I want to say Maria was her diary.
The diary was probably it. Yeah. I don't remember specifically, but probably.
All I know is that I'm pretty sure there was a muscle shirt in there. Canon was the muscle shirt. I think. I don't know. I delete my copies after I've read them, so I know which one we're on. So I can't open it back up. It's just gone forever. I've erased it from the internet.
You just delete them after you read them? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So,
I can never refer to them again.
him.
I can never refer to them again.
We're
just done with it.
I was talking to Shadow about that. I was like, I hope when we do our intermission theory presentations, they don't expect me to put pictures because I don't have the files anymore, so I can't go back and get the pictures. Which I could, I just don't want to.
Jack, you do me a favor. I want the list of every like red text.
So I didn't update. So this is something I explained last time. I think I hand wrote all of the red text that had appeared up until like the stuff from last week. I didn't write it yet for this.
Of everything from this week, so I'm good.
I did not write anything for this week because we had a shit ton of red text all at once at the very end of this chapter.
Yeah, no,
and I was like, I don't feel like writing this shit.
Good.
I don't feel like writing this shit. And also, I need to keep a separate list of like the blue text that has happened so far too. That's another thing that I have to do if I want to do that kind of thing.
Overachiever.
But there's a lot of stuff we'll go over when we get to the red text, blue text stuff. Okay, but a couple things that we want to get into firsthand. So we had a whole segment with Battler. That was this week, right? Where there's like a whole question about his identity now. Because
imposter. I mean, he is red.
And this was something that was brought up in a previous episode where there was a theory that was presented where this might actually just be an imposter Battler that Rudolph and Kyrie have brought in. Because it's been 6 years. We haven't seen Battler. So there might be some weird thing associated with that. And it tried to do something more with that kind of idea this time around where Beatrice goes to give Battler his test for Kinzo's little game that he's got going on there. Kinzo goes to give Maria his test. Supposedly Maria passed her test, and by pass I mean she's dead. What that means for passing, I don't know, but maybe it means she's passed out. But she, you know, there's
dead, you know.
she, very specifically, she was like dead. It looked like she was poisoned, but like she looked like she was like peacefully rested, but like rested next to her mother's very dead and mutilated body, which is good. Fuck Rosa. We hate Rosa in this house. Okay?
So true.
Fuck Rosa. All right, but
All my homies hate Rosa.
Battler goes for his test and ends up talking with Beatrice, who's like standing like on top of the building or some shit like that. And Beatrice is like, all right, so 6 years ago, what'd you do? What was the sin that you did? He was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you don't know? You don't know? All right, I'm leaving.
Oh.
And then she's like, yeah, so I don't think I can play this game anymore because I don't even know if you're worthy of playing this game with me. If you don't know the shit you did 6 years ago, let's see if you're
Which
even
we still
really.
don't know.
Let's see if you're even really Battler. I'm gonna allow you to use
fall damage by accident. What happened here?
I'm gonna allow you to use the right. So the 6 years is significant because, from what I remember, Battler stopped coming for 6 years because Asumu passed away, and then Rudolph ended up marrying Kyrie soon after, and so he estranged himself from the family as a result of that.
Specifically because Kyrie was pregnant with Anje.
Yeah. So that's what we're presented at for like why Battler has not been around for those 6 years. And so now we're also being presented with the question of what is the sin that you did 6 years ago or something like that. There's something about a sin that happened 6 years ago that we don't know anything about that it seems even Battler doesn't know about, at least like in the meta version of Battler that's presented to us for the narrative. He is not able to properly answer. He seems very confused about what she's trying to get at. And it leads her to believe, or at least is presented like, that she does not believe this is the Battler she should be facing against for this contest for whatever reasons. Now, I have a couple theories about that kind of thing, but the main thing is just that, like, I want to say that whole bit was kind of really fucking stupid for multiple reasons, okay? One, I understand the point of it. It was understandable because they wanted to give us a couple key points of information. But two, the reason Battler gets like all fucked up in his head about how to approach this for very dumb reasons. Okay, so he's presented with the question. So she starts to get into it more. She's like, "I'm going to allow you to use the red, and if you go to try to say something that is not actually true, it will feel like you can't breathe or something to that effect, and so you won't be able to say it." So here's a couple of things I want you to repeat. And it was something to the, I don't remember the exact text that happened with it, but it was something to the effect of Battler is not Asumu's son. Therefore, she tries to argue, therefore, he is not Battler Ushiromiya, who she should be facing off against. That's dumb because you wouldn't do that based on Asumu, you would do that based on Rudolph. And I don't know why Battler would not immediately think of that. I can only assume it was something like the shock of being like, she's not actually my mother. Like, might have been fucking with him. But
yeah, it's definitely that because he has so much more of an attachment to Asumu than Rudolph.
Yeah.
Because Rudolph
the whole
is just like,
point of the rift was the fact that Rudolph was the one he was mad at.
yeah, and
Right.
he was so attached to his mother, and like Rudolph went ahead and cheated on her and stuff,
Yeah.
and immediately remarried afterwards.
Because Beatrice's whole thing is like, I'm only here to have these play this game against the grandchild of Kinzo Ushiromiya, and if Asumu is not your mother, then that must mean you're not Battler Ushiromiya. You are a fake who has replaced the Battler who was killed 6 years ago. But it's like, you would never do that based on Asumu. You would do that based on Rudolph. So I don't know. So there was a couple things to that. One, Battler's stupid for that, but I can understand it, I guess, from the mental thing. But two, Beatrice also has to know that with the way she worded it. Like, So I don't know if that was something to where like
Don't go
because
with tomfoolery.
Beatrice acted like she was actually like offended and like was like actually unraveling something here, but really it was just that like it seemed more like she was just fucking with him in some way, but like I can't tell if she was fucking with him because it sounded like she genuinely felt upset at that. But then it was like there's no way she would be acting like this without knowing that he is actually Rudolph's son or whatever, or like even thinking to ask on her end about that. Like I'm just thinking like if you're asking these questions and you're Beatrice, why would you ask if him to say that he's the son of Asumo, not the son of Rudolph? Like, obviously she must know, in my head. She must know that that is obviously the case, and that she, for some weird reason, just wants to bring to light to him the fact that he is not Asumo's son.
You know, just a little bit of fuckery, you know.
And
as you do.
now that obviously immediately presents me with a theory. I will present this now, and it's probably going to turn out to be bullshit for several reasons, but I will present the theory now, okay? And I'll see if anybody else in the room also shared this theory at some point. Because, one, we're presented, Asumu is not your mother, okay? You're still an Ushiromiya, but Asumu is not your mother. And two, we have the question at the very end, which is, who is Beatrice?
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
I
in
see
my
where you're going
head,
with this.
yeah, in my head, I'm
Okay.
thinking, okay, are we eventually getting to Beatrice as somehow
I
Battler's
see.
mother or some shit like that? Is that where we're going with this? In my head, that's where it seems like it's trying to point me to. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but it makes me
It'd be a
feel
mad
like that's where it's
comedy,
pointing
though.
to. So, I don't know how the timelines work with that kind of stuff, but it would also involve, well, actually, I don't even remember. Did they confirm Rudolph was Battler's father in red text? I mean, I guess he would have had to have been.
I know they at least confirmed that he's Kinzo's grandson,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure of the in-between steps. Let me. I have all the right.
It's also
text
kind of
down
bullshit that at certain points we've introduced the idea of titles passing down, which extends beyond just Beatrice the Golden Witch, and is now just like
Okay.
literally Kinzo Ushiromiya as a title can be passed down. It's like, okay,
I
let's
think
calm
that was
down now.
Battler bullshitting his way through that.
No, yeah, I mean, I understand that,
But
and then
that-
later on,
Yeah.
and then later on, we're presented from Land of Delta's like extra things, being like, yeah, so none of that shit. That was just Beatrice just letting him think that he won, but actually it didn't mean shit. Obviously, that's
Which
dumb. Nobody would think
I
that.
don't understand in any capacity Beatrice's motivations right now, because she seemed like she on one hand
Think
she
through
seemed
Think
like
through
you were I can't think. Shut up. Because
I'm not
on
allowed
one
to think.
hand
I'm not allowed to think. Okay.
on one hand, it seems that she was genuinely hurt, right? And like there was the whole thing about like letting herself basically get killed by him by letting him win, but also like that happened in the one where she was fucking faking it, and that was completely an act. So are we finally on the one where it's going to be real, or is this going to be a rule of three where this is also going to be fake, and then there's going to be the real one at the end, and everybody's going to be like, oh, it's fake, and then it turns out to be real, or some dumb shit like that? Or is she actually feeling that way and she fumbled the bag on the whole argument with him being Kinzo's son because she's like genuinely distressed the way that Battler was genuinely distressed about the idea of Asumu not being his mom, because then why would she be fumbling it so bad? Like, is she just trying to get it over with? But then she's not trying to get it over with because she teleports out of the thing and like has Battler show her mercy. So now I'm like, is she continuing the fight or is she just trying to prove a point? I don't know.
By the way, also, we present that stuff where she's like, Battler, you're not actually Asumu's son. I'm leaving the game board now. This is not me surrendering, by the way. This is just the game will not continue. It's like, bro, that's not how that works. You can't
It's
just
important to point
eternally
out-
make that a tie. What are you doing?
I feel like it's important to point out that part of the reason that was that because she wanted to go to the Golden Land with Maria, where they specified this, everybody is happy. So
Yeah.
what and that's why I think that I don't think this is an act. What about this in particular is causing her so much distress, right? And like,
Yeah, what is it? Tell me. Tell me what the sin was.
I mean, my first thought went to suicide, because that's like
Damn.
one of the biggest sins in Christianity, at the very least, is the ending of one's own life. And we've already seen.
You're saying
Well,
Battler,
I would like to
you're saying
point out
Battler
that
killed itself in this whole story is bullshit? Is that what you're saying?
I think Battler
There's
killed himself
layers.
because if we argue that all of Angie's experience was what she was seeing in like her last moments as she fell from the building in 1998, you could argue that it runs in the family. The suicide thing.
Listen, I feel like we could say it runs in the family, or you could be like, okay, well, reasonably speaking, all of her family died years ago, and she's led a miserable life until now. Maybe it's a little more understandable. I would just
like to posit that arguably Kenzo has also let himself get killed, which isn't necessarily suicide. It's not necessarily him directly committing suicide, but letting himself get killed is a form of suicide. So,
hold on. Wait. Did I just hear that right? Did you just say letting yourself get killed is a form of suicide? So if I get murdered, that's actually suicide because I should have just gotten good? Is that what this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's like how college students will walk out in front of cars because if they get hit, then they were
I don't think that's a thing people.
That happens.
I think that's a thing people talk about doing for memes, but I don't think that's an actual thing people do. Wait.
As a college student,
Wait.
I think it's
Wait. Do you have something you have to tell us? Do you have to? Anyways, okay. Interesting takes on suicide here today. I will say that. Interesting definitions. But what I will say is bullshit. Okay, Beatrice, what are you doing? Trying to like pull this dumb shit and then just walk away from the game board to have nothing continue. I mean, it seemed like it was all a kind of show. And that's where, the thing that you mentioned too, where you're like, you don't know if this is all an act or not, or is this all to get him in a certain way? And it's probably just a way to get him in a certain way because like he was so distracted about that the main way for him to get back to his senses was Anjay basically like speaking up for him and then revealing herself as his sister, which gets her killed because of the rules of the thing. So we see her like melt away or whatever, but in reality, that it's symbolic of, as you said, probably the realization that she's not there, and in reality, she's probably killed herself many years ago. If what we're shown was what happened, anything could have happened, I guess, with these kind of events, but. The one thing that I will say when it comes to the 1998 stuff and Anjay stuff, I mean, a part of me kind of wanted them to stay around for more than just this episode. And maybe they will come back in some kind of capacity. The other ones, I don't know. But, it seems like with how this...
We got Anjay too!
I mean, it seems like with how this ends, this is going to be like... it presents itself almost like we're not going to see Anjay again until like all the answers of things are revealed, and then we just see like what happens to her in the future of like the actual timeline. But I would like it to be something like in future episodes we're seeing different versions of Anjay still investigating the situation or whatever. We have like the things that are mentioned in like one panel that Arimia brought up before about like what was it, the society of people that believe in the witches or whatever, the witch hunters. I forget what it was. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, we're probably going to go into that at some point, right? Because we didn't get shit except for one side panel of one guy in this one. So when the fuck do we get back to that shit here? Other than the mentions of somebody else. There was somebody else that was mentioned with it too, I think. But
you could also argue
Yep.
that technically speaking,
Actually,
the Anjay
No,
that went
actually.
through all of that internal turmoil about the black and the white board and stuff like that was the metaphysical Anjay that is on the board with Battler right now. And the 1998 Anjay actually is still on Rokenjima, and the Bungo Stray Dogs guy is about to walk out of the forest saying, damn, you shouldn't have gone on your own. And they're just going to continue that investigation because because
I could see
think
it.
it was Burncastle. Because Burncastle mentioned that she had split into two, right? She had split into the one that flew away from the building, and then she split into the version of herself that had fallen to the car and stayed to do the Rokenjima investigation. So, like,
Yeah.
maybe the one that Burncastle took away is dead, but the one that was in 1998 is still there. I don't know. That seems feasible, but
I'm
not Ryukishi. I don't know.
I could see it. I would definitely be okay with that if that is how it continues. I also think it'd be very funny if it turned out a Bungo Stray Dogs guy killed not only the bad guys, but then also decided to just snipe Anjay too, and then called up the other creepy
Bungo Stray Dogs guy.
And then he calls the other creepy dude up and is like, all right, the job's done. I made it look like the Sumaderas killed her. All right, we're all set here.
No!
We're all good to go. We can
Sure,
get
you're
all
right.
the money
Anji's a
now.
Freak. She plays in magic.
So we'll find out about all that kind of stuff.
Right, I'm looking at the screenshot that you said where Battler was able to say that Anjay is his little sister. Anjay could just not be an Uroshimiya.
Damn.
Okay, well,
Ushiro-miya.
And she could just
Uroshimiya?
not be blood related to Kinzo. So, I mean, maybe they're
It is
both
late.
bastard children. I don't fucking know.
Dang.
Wow, I can't believe both of them are the children of Beatrice. I can't believe it. I really can't believe
Valor-
it because it's probably not true.
Valor's-
But I listen.
Sorry,
I
Shadow?
will say. Okay, what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, Shadow?
I find funny the fact that Torrendo mentioned that Balor's forever 21 because now I just think he's like Ash.
Battler is actually about 18, and
I thought he
Anjay
was
is 18 in
16.
this.
Okay, forever.
No, he's about 18.
But I read Forever 21 and I thought the store, and I was so
That's
confused.
what I did too.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
There's just American things. There's like a girls' clothing store called Forever 21 that's like kind of supposed to be for like the transition from like tween to teen. It's just like a store, like a clothing store for girls. So the first thing that I read of that message was Forever 21, and that's the first thing that I thought of it. I was like, why is Turando bringing up like a clothing store before I read the rest of the message?
Okay.
Wow, I feel like this is getting us so close to solving the mystery of Rokenjima. We just have to
also
take a
so
trip to
far
Forever
away.
21. As long as we just take a
So
trip to Forever
true.
21, we'll find a nice like Battler like suit jacket, and then we can solve the mystery.
I want to find out when he gets the cape, the cool cape.
He has the cape on my USB. Okay, so I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhere. In
I
the
want to
answers
see
are.
the cool cape.
Whenever Is this
whenever I
Kinzo's
look up,
cape?
like-
Does he just steal Kinzo's cape?
Does he steal Kinzo's cape? Because whenever I look up manga to be like, oh yeah, like look at how expensive this stuff is, because I talk about it to the people I know IRL, I'm constantly getting the one with like Battler in the cape, and I'm like, I want to see Battler in the cape.
Battler,
When does he become cool?
Battler was actually just Kinzo all along. He's found
Holy
a way.
shit.
He's found a way through science,
Dude,
not magic.
Wolf.
Okay, through
Dude,
science to be
that's why
reincarnated.
Bito's so upset, is because Battler is supposed to be Bito's lover, but he doesn't remember.
What?
What did I come back to?
Oh, these Balor's Kinzo. I get it. I understand.
I made a joke
What
that.
AO3 fanfics are you reading?
Listen, just wait until we get the the eating disorder involved too. Okay, just wait.
He's really able to reattain his youth.
Sorry,
by
because he
not
stepped
eating.
away. I said that I wanted to see Battler in the cape, and we were saying that, like, oh, maybe it's like Kinzo's cape. And I don't remember who had mentioned it, but like Battler just like being Kinzo the whole time. And I was like, oh, the sin that he committed was de-aging, but he forgot. So he's supposed to be Bito's lover, but he forgot, and now Bito's upset.
You said you'd come back. This is bullshit. Beatrice, please, I'm trying. Beatrice. All right, AO3 writers, start
I
writing.
wait forever, and the only way to wait forever is to de-age.
I think, if nothing else, okay,
True.
even if we never solve the mysteries of Rokonjima, I think we've done enough for the Umineko community with all the AO3 ideas we've come up with. I think we've done enough good in the world.
None of you write the anorexic Battler, though. That's mine. I write it
okay.
first.
Okay, all right.
We're all on-
And
all
then
on
everybody
first.
else can do
Like
it.
the
But
message.
And then everybody else can do it. I have to be the pioneer here.
there's
Actually,
an
let's see
embargo
if
on
any
this.
let's see
There's
if
been-
anything
there's-
has been added since the last
What if
time
somebody's
I
been
checked.
watching our streams and they decide to write it first? They beat you to it.
Well, so that's what I'm gonna check, is I'm gonna see if there's more than one eating disorder fic in the fandom
Okay.
now.
All right. So, anyways, all right. So we did the whole sad emotional scene. Andre. Andre.
Andre?
Alright,
It's my favorite
Andre.
eating character.
Andre.
Eric
An-
Andre, what?
Eric Andre. Let me in. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
Andre has a whole. Andre.
Let me into Umineko.
So some of it's just because of my fucking thing. Anyways, Anjay, whole emotional scene with Battler. Very, very sad. As she, I think, just
cried.
melts, I guess, behind him into like
I
just
think she
organs and
slowly
shit.
gets pulled apart by tools,
Oh.
is what Lambda
Yeah.
Oh,
Zelton.
true. That's what it was. Okay.
Piece by
s-
piece, her
piping hot
skin is torn off.
Until
And
there's
Battler-
only one piece left.
And
Battler
she's
got
like,
upset
she's
because
like,
he
don't
was
turn
like, "Why
around.
did you?
Just don't.
How were
don't
you
turn
guys
around."
able to just like stand there and watch that unfazed?"
Y'all
It's
are
because
crazy.
it didn't happen. It's all bullshit.
Rude.
Sorry, I'm sorry to be the one to say this. Okay, none of it happened. None of this is real. I don't know if you guys have known this yet, realized this, but all this is fake. This is bullshit. That's all like movie props or whatever for their fake deaths that they were staging. All right,
This is all a short film that they're making.
it could be, and they're just having
That-
arguments about which script to use and the director.
Yeah.
And so that's
No,
why
no.
we keep getting like different people dying in different ways and like different like people who are like the main focus of it. Okay, this is the Kinzo direction. This is the Ava cut of the show. You know, this is the Beatrice hour where they get like their occasional little bit in the movie. You know, it's one of the theories.
It gets better. It gets better, chap. Okay. Battler's sin from 6 years ago was that he forgot he was hired for this, and this is all a set.
He just
Quantum
forgot.
Bolt.
He just forgot.
They've been working on this for 6 years, and he didn't know.
They were like, "Please, we
Shadow,
can't
have
finish
you
the
ever
production
seen
without you."
Bolt?
Dude, that's a very niche Disney film.
Yes,
I don't
This
even
Bolt
think
is
I've seen
fire.
that. I know
Oh my
I know
God.
about
Yes,
Bolt.
I
I know
I
it
was like
exists. I don't think
10.
I've seen it though.
and I don't
Bolt-
remember it though.
Bolt is about a dog who gets adopted immediately into the film industry as a puppy. So he's basically trained to think he is the superhero he plays as. And that's his whole life. So then when he realizes that he's just like on a set and it's not his whole life, he like has a mental breakdown. That's Battler right now.
This is just like Umineko.
I have one thing to say.
What's up?
What bowels of hell did you pull this from so that I would actually understand it? I got this one. This one made sense to
Hold
me.
on. Are you telling me that I make references? Oh wait, no, I do make references all the damn
yeah,
time.
you
and
do.
You don't
You do.
understand them.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely, you do.
No,
All of you do,
This
really.
isn't a you thing. This is everyone. Okay, I don't get them.
Well, hey, at least I'm not trying to explain Homestuck.
Yeah, we're good on that. That'll be in the next book club. Don't worry.
Well, I don't know. With the way that Umineko's been going, I think, what did I say in the book club chat or the spoiler zone? I'm gonna have to. I wish I had read Homestuck all the way through so that I would be able to comprehend this.
I don't even know. Could you?
complexity.
I don't even know if you can actually like fully read Homestuck these days. Wasn't there like several Flash games that just don't work anymore in the middle of it that you were supposed to play for some of the narrative?
I think it might have gotten moved to its own site to bypass that, but if not, you can watch like voiced playthroughs on YouTube.
I see. I remember playing that shit growing up. Okay, I remember. I was there.
Homestuck?
Some of the Flash games that came. Yeah. For the Flash game for the story, because I kept up with Homestuck up until like a certain point, and then I was like, nah, I'm done. But yeah.
I might need to leave to have a crisis. I have such a different view of Chap now.
From having experienced Homestuck a little bit growing up, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the
This changes so much.
The fact that I played, I have given you no opinions about Homestuck yet. Just the fact that I've consumed it has made you change your opinion of me. That's it.
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
that's it. You're
Alright,
a
fair
different
enough.
person to me now.
Today's stream.
Wait till you
is
see the
Nano's,
cosplay photos of me. Okay. Wait till you see those. Anyways, we're not here to talk
No.
about the cringe Homestuck days, okay? We're here to talk about the peak Umineko days, all right, which never end. Beatrice makes sure that they never end, over and over and over again, with several different people dying each time. So now we get towards the final big interaction that they have in this volume, which I was so like, yes, finally, this is what I want. I want it to just be endless, like red text, blue text, green text, whatever text. Okay, this is the good stuff for me. All right, I love it.
This is the content right here. This is
This is the fucking Danganronpa archives. But like briefly before we actually get to that, it's Battler walking around finding all the actual bodies that were left behind. Several of them, have the stakes through them, which it looks like they were actually killed by like a bullet first, and then the stakes were like just kind of screwed in later on. He's trying to piece together things like Kirie mentioned something about golden threads that go through the locks, and he's like, well, with the type of lock this is, how the fuck would that even work? Obviously witches.
all
magic,
conspiring the light to me.
he finds like the entrance to like the underground like thing, but like the like top of it is shut so hard, like he has to like get tools to even attempt to try to get it off or whatever. Finds the two people that they left in the shed, I think it was Goda and like the old lady there, are dead. It looks like they have hung themselves, but then when you actually go in there, it looks like they were shot in the head and then they were hung. So then it's all a question of, but how did they get in to do all this if the key was still inside and the place is locked from the outside?
Okay.
How could they have gotten in? I mean, there's a number of ways.
There's a window.
Ways. Yeah, but the point is you can't get in through the window yourself. The point is you would like they pass the key through the window, but it wouldn't be big enough for a person to get through, I'd imagine. Like,
Yeah.
Judging
But you
by
know
the
what can pass
illustrations,
through that
yes,
window?
there would have been.
Like-
Battler can. You're so right.
But-
Maria could.
true. I mean, maybe Maria killed them both. She does know how to use a gun. We know that.
Yeah, and she was the one holding all the guns in that one panel.
And speaking of guns,
Maybe that was her test. Okay, she could go in, kill those two, slip out, and then like take a poison thing. And that was her prize. Okay, just eat this little candy, and it's like a poison capsule
Honestly,
or whatever. And
I could see that. Completely reasonable there.
and like all the servants
Maria,
are
load
like,
the
"Oh,
bullets."
Maria, you want to come in here? Yeah, you'll be safer in here. Don't worry." And then she's like, "I have a shotgun." What?
no, it's a magic wand, not a shotgun. According to her.
So like, yeah, so Battler's just walking around finding the bodies, and it's just like, you know what? Now I'm fucking bored. Beatrice, can you come out already? I'm like waiting around for like another
Damn,
day
you'll
here.
fall as day.
Nothing's fucking happening. I'm just gonna eat some shit here while I wait, because like I'm just gonna get drunk. Fuck it, I'll just get drunk. He can kill me. I don't even fucking care anymore.
So true.
Can you just get this over with already? And then she shows up, and then we finally get the big interaction. So there's so much to unwind with this. The biggest one that stuck out to me is that Kinzo is already dead from the start. I believe it was confirmed not for just this episode, but for like all of the episodes or all of the games. He is
He's
dead
always
already
been dead.
at the start. So any case where we're like, oh, there's only 18 people on the island, and then we list all the people that are dead, we don't. The point of which is something to the effect of like, that actually means that there's another person that would be taking Kinzo's spot or whatever with that list or whatever potentially. There's also a whole thing, the theory that we mentioned about like Kinzo Ushirome, it might just be a title that's passed around or whatever, but we end up finding out that's probably also just not really a case that happens here.
No,
whatever, I
it's
think.
they mentioned that for canon, but not for Kinzo, which feels very odd.
I thought they
Kinzo.
I thought they mentioned it for like two people. I remember Canon was one of them, but I thought Kinzo was another one.
It
But
was
I could be
Kinzo
wrong.
because they talked about it for the most recent one. So I thought that they said that Kinzo Well, never mind. In the last game, when they were arguing whether or not Kinzo was dead from the beginning, Beatrice was like, "Well, then why was Kinzo there in the meeting?" And that was when Battler argued, like, "Oh, the title of Kinzo can be passed down, so maybe that was just the person that like stepped up to be Kinzo after Kinzo was killed."
Yeah.
And then the other one was canon.
Yeah, there was a whole other thing too where it's like it was brought up by Battler, the question of like the statuses of different people were altered depending on the game or statuses of things like the number of master keys were altered between the games. So there could also be a case where the statuses of certain people are altered between the games. So I can claim that he was actually dead for at least this game, but he might be dead for the other ones or whatever. So even if he's alive in some of the other games, he's dead in this one or whatever. And I think at some point in relation to that, that's where Beatrice confirms that Kinzo's life or death is the same at the onset of all 4 games. So it's specifically worded like that. The 4th game
wording. Do you want me to clarify that wording?
So the wording tells us that it doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead in all of the games. It just means that whatever his state is of being alive or dead is the same in all of the games. So it could mean that he's dead in all the games. It could mean he's alive at the beginning of all the games, right?
But then okay, here's the thing. If he's live in all the games, and there's only, but it's mentioned that there's only 17 people there. They get mentioned later.
I was confused. Oh, I'm confused.
Kinzo is dead.
Okay.
Kinzo's dead at the start of every one.
The start. Yeah. What happens before October 4th is basically the same. That is basically set in stone.
Okay.
There's some
okay. All right. I see it now.
Can be shown previously that like might not happen on other ones, but that's basically outside the realm of these 2 looping days.
Okay, all right. So I see it now. So the one that I just read before, that was when she was still trying to like Beatrice was still trying to debate with Battler to be like, oh, there's still a chance that like you don't know his fucking current state in this thing. And then later on with the Marguerite, she says in red, Kinzo is dead at the start of every game. So we know for a fact in red, Kinzo is dead at the start of every game. Regardless of, because a lot of their stuff that they're debating in here, which is the details of how some of the mystery, like locked rooms and deaths happened, is presented in a way where Beatrice is trying to make it look like she concedes in certain ways, but she's not necessarily confirming in red certain details. She's just kind of ignoring, not addressing blue text and moving on to another thing. And then it's presented like Battler has destroyed these different games. Like this box is solved. This one's destroyed. Hold on.
Do you need water? Do you need me to redeem a hydrate?
I'm getting water. Let me drink a little bit.
Okay, no, sorry, Chef. I'm redeeming a hydrate. Sorry, fuck you.
I'll do a couple too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and drown Wolfborg real quick, you know?
Man.
So Kinzo's dead at the start of the game, and there's no more than 17 human beings on the island. There is still some room for some dumb shit like, well, technically speaking, the furniture is not considered a human being, so, actually we have, room for, 4 more fucking people.
I fucking considered that. Why would you say that? I have to think.
We brought
Why
it up before.
You're making me think?
We brought it up before. I feel like it would be really dumb to use that as a technicality for this kind of shit.
Well, but also considering the fact that I'm pretty sure Canon and Shannon literally turned and said we are human beings in this version.
Which I don't think you were here for us last week when we were saying that. I was thinking to myself when they were saying that, I'm like, well, don't say that right now. You're trying to use your furniture abilities to fight your way out of here. We should probably wait.
But also, death flags.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I need Ari. What do you mean death flags? I need you to explain that.
That was when they're just being like, we are humans. Okay, we're the big emotional thing, and it's then they died. They died, so.
Oh, triggering a death flag. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Meaning,
So
now
yeah.
that
So
I know it, I am dead.
so I mean, it could.
got the answer
I would
correct.
not. I will not like it if it turns out that we are going to use that technicality eventually to be like, well, technically speaking, all the ones that are furniture, they don't count as human. We try to, because like, I'm not going to like it because it'd be a very dumb fucking technicality. Unless they're literally like robots that they have on the island and we just don't know it yet or some shit. If it's something like that.
All of the other embryos that failed that Kinzo still has frozen in the other mansion or whatever, counts those as human beings.
I'd be upset if they're trying to be, but it's also one of those things where the story can be like, well, technically we tried to warn you guys because we made several efforts to be like, we are furniture, we're not human. We tried to release, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, you can say that all you want, Ryukashi, but I'm still gonna say that's dumb. If that ever happens, so I'm just hoping that doesn't happen because that'd be a very dumb technicality to go with.
No, hear me out, Chef, okay? The reveal that George and Jessica were dating machines all the time is very funny to me.
Again,
I concur.
I mean, if it turns out to be something weird like that, I mean, I'd more understand it. If we're getting weird mechanical, like, sci-fi shit going on, too, like, that would be an interesting spin, where instead of, like, magic, we go hardcore to sci-fi shit later, where there's, like, androids on the island, and, like...
Look, man, Ginzo was the alchemist, he was the mechanic.
True. I feel like that'd be a bit much for me.
No, better. Battler's sin from 6 years ago was making an Shannon.
His sin from
Battler's
6 years
sin
ago.
from 6 years ago was being a robot. He's been a robot this whole time, actually.
His sin from 6 years ago was not investing into crypto at the time, okay? He would have saved the Ushiromiya family if he just bought one Bitcoin at the time. The prices of it were so low. Bitcoin didn't even exist yet if he had only invested, okay?
It's a negative currency. It doesn't even exist yet.
He would have single-handedly saved them all, but no, he didn't. So, anyways.
Is the mystery of Battler he's half furniture? Is that like what we're going on?
I mean, it could be some shit like that where it's like, is it a love child between like, Rudolph or somebody else and like, Beatrice, who might be like a servant that we didn't know about maybe or some shit like that. I don't know. It could be something weird like that. But the annoying, so like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we have with the blue text, red text, where it's like going through like each of the different games, many of the events that happens. We're probably not going to go through all of the individual things because most of it turned out to just be like bullshit about like what he may or may not have been right about. We had things that were confirmed to red. Everything that's confirmed to red is like good for us to take note of, but that doesn't necessarily mean what Battler was saying is the answer for several of those things. Like I said, the biggest one that we know about that will be a recurring thing for us to know about at least is the fact that Kinzo is dead at the start of this every single time. That's the big one that I took away, is that Kinzo is just not alive at the beginning or the events at Rokunjima for the incident. Other things are more specific to each individual game. It
makes me wonder who his body double was in the last one. Like, it's not important, but like,
well, with Kinzo, it's a question of like they could have used a body double for the body, or I think most of the time we see his body, it's like burned, so he could have died at any point. Because the idea is he would have died a while ago, and we're just pretending like he doesn't want to see anybody, but actually he's been dead for a while, and so we're going to burn his body and have people find his body. That way, they will not know when he actually died, or some shit like that. But you could also very easily just find... They try to make a whole big deal out of, like, he's got 6 toes. That's a rare thing. But it's like, we're rich, and we, like, have literally orphanages to, like, raise people to be our servants. We could probably figure out a way to find somebody with 6 toes.
Over here?
There's probably ways for us to do it. Okay, I'm trying to think of like what other important things that we were told that would reoccur, because there's things that are specific, like Canon did not commit suicide in like a certain game or whatever. I don't know if some of these red texts are only for specific games though, or if they could be applied to all of the games, because some of them
specific games.
Yeah, I figured that was probably the case because some of them would be contradictory to like each other if we were supposed to try to apply them to like all of them as like, because like a theory that I had at some point early on was like, you know, we might be presented all these mysteries, but the certain commonalities between all of them, there might be like one truth of the actual events that happened, and it's actually like an amalgamation of like a couple recurring things that happen between all the games, except some of that would depend on certain red text working for all of them. And if they don't work for all of them, then it's probably not as easy to figure out that kind of stuff. But the main thing is that we have to look at each individual game with its own individual bits of red text towards this. There's some, like the Kinzo being dead and the start of all of them, that you can apply to all of them. But others, you can't really apply to that because they would only work for the specific game. Which makes it more complicated to try to unravel all this stuff for us. But at the very least, we can only focus. It makes it a little easy in some ways because we don't necessarily have to look at some of the overarching stuff when we're focusing on just certain mysteries of the games. But there does come a thing for me that I question about, where it's like certain pieces of information that we find out from later games, like the fact that they have an entire underground passageway in this area.
That may or may not be a mile long. Perhaps.
That we have a secret mansion somewhere on the island. Like these are like kind of things where it's like we know about them later on, but are they important factors towards solving some of them in the games that we did not know these things, ahead of time on or something to that effect? But these are kind of things that we can like try to piece together. The important thing is, as like Battler, we don't have to come up with a full proof like explanation of who exactly did what and when. We mostly just have to be able to explain in a way or ways how certain events that are made to look like they were impossible to be done could have been done.
Unfortunately, I have forgotten all of the previous games,
which is fair.
Which was kind of bad when they were like, "Oh, here's us explaining all the previous games," and I was like, "I read this was so long ago."
You were like, "That happened?"
Yeah, that is the one thing that I will say, because I did want to bring that up too. I understand we're like getting ready to go into the answers arc or whatever. I don't know how that will present things in terms of like how these answers will be revealed, but I did find it surprising that like
Chad, I got a hint for you.
Uh-oh.
I hope you like just the continual time loops.
Well, I mean, I figured it'd probably be something. That's not what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I'm not really referring to that. I'm referring to like whether or not we're going to be getting like answers at the end of like each episode that like help out more so with this, or if it's going to be like this where we have to wait until the end of the next 4 episodes. Because I had thought early on in the series it was going to be we would get like Battler trying to figure out the answers more fully and formally like he was towards the end of this, but like at the end of each individual episode. But that was not the case. We kind of saved most of that until we get to the end of this 4th episode. And a part of me...
there will be a lot of things revealed.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. I would hope so if it's called the Answers arc. I just want some of that to be... Because like
spread out and not like info dumped right at the end, because you're gonna you're gonna forget the context otherwise.
Right, because it makes it hard, like Andy was saying, to like piece some of this stuff together. Because I could look through the past chapters of the episodes, but I also like I don't remember shit. And now I'm at a point now where all the different loops are like merging in my head in certain ways with certain facts, because each episode is telling us different information about different characters and stuff like that. So now I'm just like, did this thing happen in this episode, but did they know about this thing in this episode yet or whatever? And I'm just like, fuck, this is fucking with my head. It's hard to keep track of this stuff. And
Is it time to declare some stuff?
Are we declaring stuff?
Are we declaring stuff?
What are we declaring?
We're declaring.
Ari, what red text do you have for us?
So, Battler's Sin, there you can figure it out.
Oh,
okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Is true mother, you can guess.
Yeah, his true mother is Beatrice, right?
that's-
Or
that's-
alternatively,
I mean,
Beatrice
that's my
is
assumption.
Asumu.
I mean, you know, I'm not entirely wrong.
I can't
Hold on,
believe
who are all the characters in the game that have red hair?
I'm not gonna deny
believe-
it, I guess, as much as my heart
Oh,
pains me.
you cannot speak in red. Is that what you're saying here?
I don't
What-
wanna-
because
I don't
Listen,
want to spoil
Yeah, you don't
things
have to
for
spoil.
you.
I'm
You don't have to
not
spoil things.
saying
Okay,
that
chill.
Beatrice is Battler's mom, but what if Beatrice is Asumu after she had died? And this is like her like
I
angelic
don't
form
want to
or
spoil
whatever.
things for
Don't
you.
say shit. Don't say shit. Say nothing. Okay? Say nothing. You need to be actively fucking with us, okay? So we don't know for sure what the answer is yet. All right?
You
We
have
need
to get
lies.
confusing
Tell
us
us,
more.
tell us,
For
tell us some
listeners out
green
there,
text. Tell us some
my-
green text.
my
We need
heart-
lies.
My heart is hurting because I finished rereading episode 6 last night, and I'm just like, okay.
That's more information that's useful
but-
to us commoners.
Let's see. So this episode ends. We get a lot of monologuing from Bito towards the end. And that's her monologuing. It's not her like being bombastic, and I mean obviously she's doing that too, but we do get like her inner thoughts and such. And most of them seem to point towards her wanting to be killed. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it says there.
Hey, I told you it runs in the family.
Dear
True.
Lord.
True.
That's why Kinso wanted Beatrice so much. She's perfect, and she also won't die to fall damage.
Well, she did die to fall damage.
And
No,
her
but-
main
True.
I
thing.
mean, if she,
She
was
was
with them,
she was
Oh,
deader than
if
a
she
doornail.
married in. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean, Shadow.
And her main thing is that she wants Battler to figure out who she is.
Yeah.
She wants him to find that out. That's the main question we will be going into the Answers arc or Cheater with. And that answer, there was actually you can guess it by now. And there were certain lines, especially like in this episode, in the
certain lines.
in the-
Okay.
in last week's volumes that we read, there was some lines about it. There have been.
Well, you know
things
what else
suggested
happened in
about
last
it.
week's episode? Really
A
cool
lot.
images of George. So I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue. Okay.
True.
Whoa.
I had to part of my advanced figure. This is related. I promise. This is related.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
As part of my advanced figure drawing class, since it's advanced figure drawing, we're kind of deviating from just practicing with the model and actually trying to apply it to our own work. So part of it was we had to tell the professor what we wanted to work on. So I went up to the professor and was like, listen, I want to figure out, I'm an animation major, I want to figure out how to do emphasis, and I pulled up several shots of George's fight with Gap as examples of what I wanted to be able to learn to do this semester in my
Yeah, of
figure
course
drawing
you did.
class. It was good examples. I don't know what to tell you. I had to deliberately look for ones that were not like panty shots of the Seven Sisters, because there was a lot of that.
Damn, coward.
I didn't want to show that to my like 50-year-old professor who
Coward.
was still calling me by my legal name at the time. So that was weird, and also saying it wrong.
Damn.
Hello, question mark?
Not only was he not calling me by Andy, he was pronouncing my name incorrectly. So that was pretty cool. He's chill. But
Was he like
Mix that up.
on day?
no. So my real name is Anastasia. He was saying it Anastasia. So when he would call my name during like attendance, I wouldn't realize that he was talking to me. because not only was he not calling me Andy, he wasn't calling me by my like legal name either. He was saying it wrong.
That's amazing.
So anyway, yeah, I had several pictures of George saved to my phone. He's hot.
I just like to imagine that that professor just started reading Umineko after he saw that, and he's
Oh,
very
God.
confused. He can barely remember who, like, your name, so he's now he has to piece together the mystery of Rokujima.
He's doomed. He is doomed.
I did not tell him what manga they were from. I just pulled them up as examples.
Allegedly,
so
likely
maybe
story.
I saved him this time.
Nah, he looked it up. He was like, "Oh, this looks pretty sick. I gotta figure out what this is."
Now Ari's out here like, yeah, if you read into a couple lines from the last reading, and I'm like, dude, I don't remember any of the games, so like, I'm useless here.
Oh, we know.
All right.
Wow.
So,
All right, well, I'm quitting the book club. Clearly, I'm not wanted here.
I'm just saying, okay. Beatrice really wants him to know. Okay, why can't you just say it? Is there a reason? Why can't you just say it, Beatrice? You can do it. I believe in you. Just say it.
Because she's soon!
She's what?
Tsundere.
Tsundere.
Well, I don't feel like that's an
Doesn't sound
excuse
like
for
that.
eternal time loop. I don't know if that's an excuse for that.
No. I think it's completely reasonable.
That's very reasonable. I don't know what you're
Very
talking
reasonable.
about.
Honestly, that's like on the tamer end of what Tsundere's could do.
I'm sorry.
Eternal murder time loop of your entire family. Sorry, I just didn't really feel like telling you the truth about this other thing.
I feel like some of Beatrice's hesitation has to come from the fact that she is being like controlled by Lambda Delta in some way. Like there has to be some influence from Lambda and Burn that are happening to cause Beto to at least a little bit be acting the way that she is. But I can only assume.
Well, yeah, I mean, we especially because of the whole like after, well, I don't even know if you call it the like secret tea party stuff
Secret tea
afterwards or
party.
whatever, where you had Lambda Delta and Burncastle like just chilling around on the Yuri bed together, just talking about the game. Am I wrong though? It was like they're having a pajama party together.
The
So.
lesbianism was not subtle. In the past, you could pass it off
It's not
slightly here.
supposed to be.
No, I know. It was just like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
This was like they're literally in bed together, and then like what was it? They share like an M&M together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
together. Like, Lambda Delta's got her pinned down.
And I mean, their whole thing was just laughing
Just
at how
really
they will never let Beatrice win. Is like the thing they wanted to like be an eternal like thing for Beatrice.
See, and this is why I'm like, I don't believe this. Because the last time that happened with Beatrice getting all soft, I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, she's finally getting her development. And then it ended up being a trick. So I don't believe this either. I don't want to feel bad for Beatrice. I feel a little bad for Beatrice, but I refuse to.
But she's hot.
True.
Yeah, she is hot.
True.
That doesn't help. That doesn't sway me in any way.
Well, I mean, that's fine for you, but you know,
For the rest of us.
I easily succumb to peer pressure. The peer pressure being characters who are hot.
yeah, I easily succumb to
How
hot
is that
women. That's just a
peer pressure?
fact. Yeah, that's true.
I have a question. I have a question though.
Listen,
Okay.
What's your
Shadow,
question, Shadow?
if
What's your question, Shadow?
Actually, you go first. Now you go first.
Oh, I was gonna say that if a hot girl told me to lick her shoe, I absolutely would. No questions asked.
Thanks.
Would
I
they
thought you
have to ask
honestly.
you? Would they have to ask you or?
Well, yeah. I'm not
Okay.
just gonna go up to hot girls in public and lick their shoe. That's a little weird, but like if they ask
Coward,
me,
coward, coward, coward. All right, Shadow. What's your question?
Okay, so if Infinite Time Loop is on the tame side of Tsundere, what's like the bad side? I gotta know.
Well, that's where you get into Yandere.
yeah.
Ah,
Please tell me you know what a yandere is.
okay, there we go. Sorry, I didn't quite hear it.
You know
this-
Yandere Simulator in the dev, right? You know this is basically Umineko. He's basically remaking Umineko.
Okay,
It's never getting
I
done.
understand it.
You know. Anyways,
I still think that Infinite Time Loop is the worst though.
I mean that
could you
itself is
imagine a
infinite
serial
time loop.
killer?
Okay, so.
Like carrying out their murders in the form of
You sure
like
it's not Yandere? I feel like
Umineko.
we're got that far. I feel like Infinite Time
Well,
Loop murder is
no.
like right there.
Actually, no. She could reasonably be a yandere because she's killing
Exactly.
for the sake of having like essentially Battler's heart, like Battler's interest or whatever. Which is why him denying her hit her so hard. I could see her being a yandere.
Okay, so
Women can't do anything nowadays.
No, it just makes her hotter.
True.
True.
right.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight the some of the things that they were rambling about in the lesbian tea party bed pajama party that they were having there. Okay, specifically, not only are they laughing about the fact that they will not let Beatrice win ever, and they had very evil looks on their faces while they were saying that and sharing an M&M together. Okay, they were just also making fun of how she handled the game, of like how she could easily have destroyed Battler's arguments with certain things, but it was presented, you know, obviously they're able to talk about it casually to themselves, and Lambda Del could be like, well, I'm so smarter than Beatrice, I could have just said this, or whatever. But then it's like, well, no, Beatrice did it like that because it's to like lead Battler astray, is what it seemed like. It was like Beatrice knows he does not know the answer yet for who she is, and therefore it doesn't really matter what else she confirms or not, because she knows that like he won't be able to answer that question. So she can like address some of his stuff to like make him feel like he has like the correct idea about certain things, but he's actually just wrong about certain ones. He's right about things like Kinzo being dead at the start of all of them. But that was like, I think one of the only things that actually like worked toward
and
like
also
solidified.
Only be 17 people.
Yeah, that and only be 17 people. But Lambda Delta says things like, the first game, Beto confirmed the identities of all the unidentified bodies as one of them. Genji, Kurosawa, and Nanjo were not murderers. Only Canon himself can use his own name.
They're not murderers.
Was what?
I think only 2 of them were not murderers.
I'm literally reading it. I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm reading it right in front of me. Okay, I have the red text. I am speaking in red text right now. All right, to you at home. Okay, I'm speaking the red truth. All right, this stream is the best. Okay, all of the Anime Book Club episodes are amazing. That's just in red, so it's true. That's just a fact.
Oh,
Anyways,
is it?
I don't need the doubt here. I don't need your blue text. Okay, I'm here
I mean,
speaking
you have
the red.
the YouTube statistics to show it, don't you?
Yeah,
True.
I do. Okay. All right, so what's the other ones we have? Only Canon himself can use his own name. No one else could pass himself off as Canon, because who the fuck would ever think to actually make the argument of Canon as a title that can be passed down? Why would Battler even think of
why
that?
would you want to be
Furniture.
canon?
Like,
No, why would you inherit the name of furniture though? That was my thing.
you know,
Oh god damn it, Turndo.
And then what else do we have here? Canon's death was not accidental for like one of the specific games or whatever. Nazi shooting was not a trap. Someone leveled their gun at her and pulled the trigger. Like very specific, more detailed answers that we now know as the like reader. But Battler is not knowing this red truth as it's being revealed, which I think is very interesting, that we're getting to see red truths that he does not get to see yet. I don't know how that will impact the story later on when he does not know these facts yet, but I guess we'll find out. When the 6 in the chapel were killed, the killer was with... Oh yeah, Battler presented a theory at some point about like bombs in their food or some shit, right? Was that
I
what
like that
happened?
one. That was
Yeah.
funny.
It's very Battler pilled.
Very Battler pills, yeah.
He was like, they all just went into the chapel to eat the food that was there, and it turned out there was bombs in them. That's how you explain how nobody was there, and they just kind of died at the table. Bro.
There's a bomb on the train. Obama's on the train. No, a bomb. Oh, thank God.
Obama?
I hate Obama, but I'm not racist or anything. I am.
What are you quoting?
Recording a TikTok or some shit?
It's the abridged
You could
case
say
closed.
cake's flavor was explosive.
Oh, case closed. Okay.
Yeah, case closed.
Okay, what else do we have
Sorry.
here? Once the master key came into Rose's possession, never left her possession. That one I feel is an interesting one. But what was
Well,
the
besides
other one?
the one exception.
Except for the point when she gave it to Battler to unlock Nazi's room. Okay. That one's interesting.
So Battler
Yeah.
was the killer.
True.
That was a sin he committed 6 years ago. They claimed his head.
Okay, so those are like the red texts that they brought up. Which again, a lot of the other red text that happened before is like the ones that Beatrice said, it's like very specific towards one specific game or whatever. And I think the main overarching one was about Kinzo being dead in all of them, and there only being 17 people on the island. I believe those were like the two facts that applied to all the games.
Is Beatrice just butthurt about Battler denouncing the Uroshimiya main name?
What was that? Say that again?
No, it's dumb. Never mind.
No, we're good.
He comes back and gets the name. I mean,
But he did denounce it at one point.
But he denounced it at one point, and that was like everything. I'm thinking back to what Ari said, and that you could figure it out. And like his whole thing was the fact that 6 years ago he denounced the Uroshimiya name, and like we haven't really been shown anything else. But like since Beatrice, her loyalty is to Kinzo, could she consider that a sin?
Well, here's my thing with that too. If you're that upset about him abandoning the name, why would you decide to kill all of them when he takes back the name? And then he's like, hey guys, I'm here. Join the family again. It's nice to see you all. Oh shit, we're all fucking dying? Oh, and it's my fault? Oh shit, sorry guys.
I mean, she could be punishing him. Yeah. Like, that could be her.
In order to reclaim the name, I need to claim all these people's souls.
True. Have them all for herself. Have the true Uroshimiya without Battler. Battler's not allowed there.
Or Anjay.
Or Anjay, yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So
I don't know.
When we get to the end, episode 4, we get the list of who died and when. We have deaths all around. And Ajay is listed as died in 1998, confirming to us that at some point in 1998, she is no longer alive in terms of at least that episode's world or that game's, the game 3's resulting world or something to that effect. I don't know how that works.
Game 5?
So what confuses me is that the Anjay story that we seem to follow seemed to be the result of Game 3, and yet the game results we're looking at now are the results of Game 4. So again, it makes me a little confused about that because the Anjay that we followed for most of this was not at least presented as the Anjay from Game 4's future. I mean, it could also be, I guess, but they seem like they were the result of Game 3's future because that's the one where Ava was alive and survived and, like, in air quotes, raised Anjay.
She died in Game 3.5. I don't know what to tell you.
Something like that. Anjay is the Kingdom Hearts character of the series, okay? It doesn't matter. So...
I'm sorry.
It makes sense. It makes sense. When you...
Someone in the chat said, something about that. The only way I can find it is because I said they put bugs in him. Rom-com Zomdom Drama said, interesting, kind of reminds me of Riku from Kingdom Hearts. True. But I don't remember when that was said. It was I just saw Riku and I was like, oh, they put bugs in him because that's all I really know about Kingdom Hearts.
I'm something of an insect myself.
Okay, let me actually read through some of these messages that you have here in these chats here. The YouTube chat, mewing intensify. Okay, some of these are from like hours ago, so we're not going to know the context, but that's fine. Lots of long legs this volume. True. I am fail girl. Chap hates fruit. That's not true. I like bananas. Next question. The fan service goes crazy these volumes. And then Naya said, I just said they don't. There's not enough side poop. Romcom Zomdom goes, oh, well, maybe not every fan, but I feel serviced. Truly a postmodernist visual novel. And then they go, LOL, nice. Now, Bacon goes, oh, postmodernism, ... Well, fuck me. I am an avid postmodernist hater. Wow.
Fuck postmodernism and fuck you.
Wow, that's fucked up. I didn't even say I wasn't even supporting it, but apparently I can go fuck myself.
What the hell?
Interesting, kind of reminds me of Riku from Kingdom Hearts. They put bugs in. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? They
That's
put bugs
literally
in
a line from Kingdom Hearts. They put bugs in him.
Oh. Right. I love the art for this episode.
They the game. They do too good.
I love the art for this episode. Love all the down shots. LMAO. I took a screenshot for class, but I loved the shots of George during his confrontation with Gap. Butthole Stray Gods. Oh, we're talking about referencing Bungo Stray Dogs, right? Yeah, so they wrote Butthole Stray Gods because they with a question mark because I don't know if they were joking or if they just didn't understand what we were saying or something. I don't know.
I think they were joking.
Yeah, probably. And then Nayad said, "So true. I know nothing about Bungo Stray Dogs." But you wrote BSD, which in my head makes me think Blue Screen of Death. But that's fine. Romcom goes, a chap is asking to be nice after aggressive review of Umineko. Listen, be nice to me. Be nice to me. I've never done anything wrong to anybody ever. Name one time. You can't. Moving on. Next question. Chap's just mad we're reminding people he was late to the stream. I was not late. This is not true. This is false.
Please read the next message.
Oh, well, he was counting all the fruits he hates. It's not... I mean... I like bananas, okay? I like bananas are good. Bananas are good.
What about tomatoes, chap?
We don't talk about tomatoes. Anyways, what's this? Anjay of 98, the bite of 87. Andy is right, though. Death by cops is a thing. Thank you.
That was
Also,
during
the
if you let yourself get killed, that is suicide. Hence the death by cops.
Okay. All right, let me see some of the Twitch chat stuff. Nate in the chat going, howdy. Do not download Umineko from a USB as it will install a program called Umineko on your hard drive.
So true.
Whoa, now spicy popcorn sounds bussin' IDK. I mean, true. And then Shadow was going bussin' ? Because Shadow doesn't know anything. But it's bussin' for real.
For real.
The mango vape. This shit's fucking fire.
Why did you remind me that video exists, Chef?
It's an amazing video, okay? Look up Columbo Mango Vape, okay?
No,
if you're
you reminded me it exists.
I'm telling the stream. I'm telling the stream, okay? Stream, okay. If you're listening, look up Columbo Mango Vape, all right? It's fucking fire, all right? New challenge of Dat Boy has appeared. Nate said facts Nyan boobs. Dat Boy wrote titties. Turndo says ringing the bell. Yes, I was very confused about that when you started ringing the bell.
I was also confused about
while
that.
you were explaining shit. I was like, do I have a tab open that's playing something? What the fuck is that sound? Because like
that's exactly how it happens in the VN though. It's like she's just talking and ding ding.
Because I'm like,
why is there a number going up in the corner? What?
I almost stopped you to be like, wait a minute, guys. I think I'm going crazy or whatever. I think I hear a thing. But after a bit, I was like, wait a minute, is that Ari doing that or whatever? And then I figured it was. So you succeeded in fucking with me, if that was the plan. Nate said, girl failures and boy failures exist, but there is no such thing as an Emily failure for real because they're goats. Let's see. Dat Boy said, my God, I had a heart attack. I just pulled a cord, dropped my PS5, but only thing is the plate popped, and I have no clue. I don't even know if I'm reading this right.
This is just average Dat Boy behavior. Don't worry about it. He's talking about something about his PS5.
Okay, I
turned over like, are you watching this on a PS5?
No, they're playing Umineko on their PS5, which is probably possible.
There's a game on the PS5.
Finally, one game.
Here's the entire scene in the VN with the PS3 sprites.
Oh my God. I'm not going to play that right now on stream, but oh my God. Let me show the
15
image.
minutes, Jesus. I'm not watching this tonight. I'm too tired for this.
Is this the Kraus Punch meme thing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to watch this all on stream, but I'll show the screen cap thing. Boom. If you were to wield 100% of your strength, your power level is at most 6. In comparison, this child has an awesome level of 1,000. In short, even if there were 100 of you, you definitely couldn't win. Wait, pulled out Steiner math for this shit? What is this? Okay, so. Oh, and then there's several messages in the chat of people trying to waterboard me Actually, this
Drink
is the one.
water.
This was the rare time where you guys were trying to help me, okay? Because I needed to take a drink because of my, so that was helpful. You sent a little too many of them though, a little too many. Trying to waterboard
Never
the
enough
sick.
water.
It's a little fucked up.
I actually need water, but I finished mine off earlier.
All right, so we've reached the end of episode 4. How did we feel about episode 4 in general? Anjay's journey, both future and past and present.
I liked it. It was the one that got me to feel the most emotions. That was the closest that I've gotten to crying. This read so far. I have an unfortunate feeling that the streams going forward are going to be super long, considering that we're already over 2 hours on this one at this point.
I think most of our streams for this one have been like around 2 hours.
Yeah, but I fear that they're going to get longer.
Well,
Is all.
I mean, maybe like less. I mean, because right now a lot of what makes these long is us trying to like theorize about certain things and trying to untangle certain things. And the hope is that with the answers arc, things will start being answered, right? Right? You know,
Right?
So that's the hope.
Uh-huh.
So that's the hope.
Yeah.
And hopefully with that, it would be, you know, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't really care either way, like with how long these kind of things take. We just stream as long as it takes for us to finish our talks or whatever. But for the most part, most of these have been around 2 hours anyways. So we'll just go with that. So I do agree in that I really enjoyed episode 4. I enjoyed it specifically for its introducing Anjay as a character. Anjay I thought was interesting. I enjoyed more so the fact that we got to see more of the world outside of Rokunjima, aside from just like flashbacks that people had about like their specific past, which didn't even really feel like it focused on the world outside of them or whatever. So I enjoyed the fact that we got to see like an actual continuation past the game. My only thing with that is I don't even know how much that'll be relevant with the multiple different iterations of the loops or whatever. So that a little bit confuses me because I'm just like, we only got to see this result because Ava lived in this game. So does that mean this will hold up in like future shit at all? I don't fucking know. But it was interesting to be able to see a future world in which we got to see the aftermath of the Ushiromiyas being killed and like people having these like theories because they found the mysterious bottles that are saying like the different things that happened. The fact that Anjay has to like go through her own like little action story to like jump off buildings and get away from people that are trying to chase her down because now she's inherited the money or whatever. I find like that kind of stuff was really cool. I do enjoy with the actual game that we had Kinzo taking over because I'm like, yes, please. I want crazy grandpa to start doing crazy shit.
But
because
it wasn't Kinzo, because they confirmed that Kinzo is dead at the start of every single one.
Yeah, no shit.
So
Okay,
what was that?
you don't need to actually me. Okay, I still had fun with it, even though it's not real. All right, god damn it, you don't need to actually me.
No,
It's the journey, not the destination, Andy.
Hold on. I'm not trying. Okay, I'm not trying to actually you.
Literally types actually in the chat though, but.
I'm not trying to actually you. It's the fact that if the red truth stated that Kinzo is dead at the beginning, I want to know who the body double was. Who was playing Kinzo?
Well, again, why do you think there was a body
Stray
double?
Dog guy.
What turned
It
out?
was the Bungo Stray Dog guy.
It was the Bungo Stray. I want to know why you think there has to be a body double.
Because Kinzo, everybody says that Kinzo's
It was
dead.
Bedler. We've been over
Okay,
this.
so to clarify for this, because I don't remember if you were here last week when I said this, we had a whole scene where people see him alive. Several of those witnesses were then killed. All of those witnesses were eventually all killed. So none of that confirms that Kinzo was actually ever in the room, or anybody that looked like Kinzo was in the room. There was nothing said in red text. So it could all just be
episode 3 where
Probably
Virgilia
not.
and Beto were having their standoff, and Beto goes, "How do you explain this?" And Battler goes, "What do you mean? The garden looks just like it did before. So who's to say this witch battle actually happened? Yeah, I saw some stuff, but the end result is that it's unchanged.
Okay,
So
I
because
see.
there is no lasting proof of it, then I can just say it didn't happen."
This is why
Okay,
I
I
also
see.
got a little annoyed by some of the fight scenes in the volumes from last week, because it's just like, okay, we have these cool shots of like George's fight against Gap and like Ronave and Jessica's fight, but none of this probably happened like this at all, obviously. So I'm like thinking to myself, like, can we just skip to where I see what the bodies look like? Because I know we're just trying to give me some kind of fantastical story to explain why the bodies look like they are, but that's not how it actually happened. So what actually happened here? But yeah, it's one of those things where unless something is specifically stated in red text about a thing happened, you could just not assume what you were shown actually happened.
Guys, it may be too stupid to keep reading this one.
It's fine. It's fine. We can be dumb together.
Don't worry. Eventually, all of our questions will be answered. Will you
Also,
like those answers? I don't know, but
Here's the thing, though. I have one more thing to say
what's that?
Yeah.
before you guys carry on. It's saying I did actually. Isn't that in itself an actually?
Actually, I feel like actually as a
actually
concept is a
didn't
thing where you
actually.
can't actually because actually. All right, so Shadow, what were your thoughts of episode 4? Did you enjoy it? Did you have anything you wanted to highlight about it?
You guys
What-
solve a couple of questions at least.
Yes, we are getting towards all of them. You know all of the answers, of course. You solved all of this. Who's Beatrice?
Okay.
Yeah, who's Beatrice?
So actually,
Mom.
Actually,
So Ari said last week, we should do some more theorizing. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a go.
Oh?
So I'm like, okay, let me try to solve one of the things that
Yo.
wasn't solved. Alrighty. So let me just narrow it down canon and what the hell happened to him. It didn't work. It didn't work out too well.
but you tried. And that's what's important.
Okay,
What,
Why did
what
they
was
make-
your logic with it that you were trying to follow, though?
Okay, so I'm like, okay, so he didn't kill himself. Neither was an accident.
And so, can you explain to us which game you're referring to and what the circumstances of it were?
The first game.
Okay, so this was
First game was when Cannon went to the boiler room running to catch up with Bito, and Kumasawa walks in right after him, and he's dead on the floor.
okay, and the main thing we know is that he did not kill himself.
I narrowed it on this one since there's two things against it. I'm like, okay, well, let me at least try here. Okay, so in other words, that he didn't do it on purpose, and nor was it an accident. And I believe from the context scene, everyone has an alibi in this context because they all weren't there. If I'm correct.
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
The question, I guess the main question is, did whatever theory you were running with go with the assumption of if Kinzo was dead from the start, maybe there could be another person doing shit that we don't know about, or?
Well, once again, 17 people doesn't work.
Okay, did your assumption go with the whole, well, actually, several of them are furniture, so we could have more...
Okay, that's
people on
part
the
of it. That
island?
would actually solve it. That would solve the problem, and also explain why Beatrice didn't say that. Didn't say yes or no if he was killed by someone else.
Okay, that's one thing.
I'm like, okay, so it's either that or the timing of when he died is different than it's supposed. Because at that point, no one would have an alibi, but that wouldn't make sense because everyone saw him run off.
I see.
I don't know anything.
Why not?
I like that you're trying, though.
It sounded so patronizing.
For a moment, I thought to myself, asking, but is he close though? And you're gonna be like, no, not at all.
So yeah, it's
Oh
either
my God.
Farge doesn't count or the timing is different than what's supposed than what we allegedly know.
Okay, well,
Or something else.
Or
I
something
think-
else.
this is
I
already
think
saying
this
it's
is
something
all
else.
fake.
You think this is all fake? I agree. No, this is real. Like you said before, Battler killed himself years ago, and this is all just hell. This is the bad place.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No. Wait, better. He has been eating for 6 years. So for 6 years, he's been having a psychotic episode.
I believe it, actually.
That's also a viable option.
But it actually hasn't been 6 years. It just feels like 6 years for him. It's actually been like a day. But
Never mind. I want to save that for the intermission theory presentation.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
For next week.
Turndo, how did you feel about episode 4?
Interesting. A lot of fight scenes. Really great art, I think, on this episode, I'd say.
Yeah.
Did you have any theories you wanted to present?
There was one I was trying to postulate, but I couldn't get it to work. It was like a Santa Claus theory.
Go on.
I'm super interested in how Santa Claus committed all these murders.
You can't just say that and then just stop.
It's like a Santa Claus analogy. So it's like, if Santa Claus was real, right? How would you explain to a child who didn't get presents that Santa is real? And then I went down this huge rabbit hole, right? It's like, if you did get presents from Santa Claus, right? How would you explain that? So I wanted to go down like this whole rabbit hole of proof of Beatrice. And I came to the conclusion that if two kids both got presents and they came to the conclusion that Santa Claus was real, without one explanation would be magic, right? That Santa Claus is real. And the other explanation is that their parents did it, right? So that would be like the scientific explanation. But you could also come to the conclusion that Santa Claus is your parents, right? So you'd come to the conclusion that there are multiple Santa Clauses, right? And I was questioning, right, when we went to who was Beatrice, right? Is it possible that Maria's Beatrice is the same as Battler's Beatrice? Like, have we like set that in concrete? And that was like one of my Santa Claus theories or analogies I really wanted to get at.
So what you're telling me is Santa Claus is a title that could be inherited.
Well, actually,
Oh
so hold on. That is canonically a thing in a, I believe, a Tim Allen movie. Is that what?
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
True.
the Santa Claus. Okay.
The Santa Claus. Yes.
We bring Tim Allen to this. It all makes sense. Don't worry.
Wait, Shadow, have you seen those movies?
I think so.
I think I've seen the first and the second one. And the reason I remember the second one is because there was a really unnecessarily long fart joke scene with the reindeer.
Oh,
and
God.
that has haunted me every day that I've been alive since I've seen it. And that's the only reason I can tell you I've seen the Santa Claus.
Listen, the Santa Claus was a thing. I believe that Santa could have committed all the murders in Rokujima, actually. I think that's true. Because we all know Santa's real. Witches and magic.
Well, no, that's not true. Because they literally told Lambda Delta that Santa isn't real.
Oh fuck! But did they say it in red? Did they say it in
They
red?
did not.
Okay,
No.
so there's still a chance. Okay, there's still.
Vito and Brincastle told Lambda Delta that Santa wasn't real, and they were like, "Damn, have you been so bad that Santa was never bringing you gifts?"
I remember. Damn, that's kind of cringe. That's kind of cringe. We always get gifts from him. What are you talking about? What?
No. For a second, I thought you were about to say Beatrice is Santa Claus.
I mean, could
Can
be.
you tell me otherwise?
Could be.
Try to prove otherwise.
Could be.
I think Beatrice
listen.
is Santa Claus to Maria.
Honestly, yeah. Like, that's fair.
Except when it comes to bringing back Sakutaro. Okay, then.
Probably a couple of years worth of gifts.
I'm actually I'm a little bummed that Angie was she was as short-lived as she was, but I really liked how they redeemed her with Maria, because it was really hard. Like, to me, it was really hard to watch like what Ange's like refusal of Maria's world did to Maria. So I honestly like was super appreciative of the fact that before kind of shoving Ange out of the picture, like they actually went through the effort of like having Ange like repent, quote unquote, for and like apologize and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. trying to think of what I want to add to it though. Anjay, I hope we see Anjay again. I hope we do.
Yeah.
I don't know if we will because of how this is presented, but in some kind of way, I'm assuming we'll see something about Anjay. Maybe not the exact Anjay that we saw here in this episode, but I hope we see something about Anjay again in the future. I at the very least hope that we see more of Bungo Stray Dogs guy in some kind of way, because I feel like we didn't do anything with him really yet.
We got so little. Like we've honestly been given enough where it's like, oh, you want to pursue his character. Like the thing with the French teacher and the fact that he never actually opened the bag that was carrying like what we could assume is a gun, or anything, fucking anything. So if they don't, if they get rid of Bungo Stray Dogs guy completely, I'm going to posit that is bad writing.
Wow. And I'm gonna think it's bad. Do I want to say bad writing? If the thing happens where we do a semantic, actually, furniture is not considered people. So actually, even though I said there's only 17 humans on the island, the furniture don't count. So there's like 5 extra slots that we could use. I'm gonna be very annoyed if that turns out to be the case.
There is a line in what we read this episode.
Well, you know. All right, so.
Chap, it'd be really, really funny if Jessica and George were dating machines all the time. Okay,
listen,
I'm telling you.
it'd be funny. All 18 perished this game. Actually, 19 people perished technically, but 18 perished from the game, and then Anjay is confirmed dead in 1998.
Well, Kenzo was dead beforehand, so I'm not sure if it counts.
Well,
he counts as an 18th person.
He's so. Weirdly enough, it lists him dying on the 9th night in this, which I noticed.
As opposed by the witches.
Which I noticed and was a little confused by. Because I'm assuming it's presented as part of the whole, like, we're killing the people and showing you how they're dying thing. But I guess I was confused because my assumption was always that the use of the whole confirming their status in the night that they died was supposed to actually be confirming the order that they died. But if Kinzo was dead from the start, then that doesn't mean shit here. So I don't know what the fuck that's about.
I assume this is the order of the Merds as opposed by the witches. Where Kinzo
well, yeah, this is how they were presented to us with the fantastical version of the events that happened, where Kinzo was part of the 9th night of the people who died. Him, Goda, and Kumasawa all died on the 9th night. So I don't. I don't know what the deal is with that. I was also a little annoyed with how, because I'm looking at the thing in front of me now, the like list of the statuses of the people. It's like ordered. I believe it's ordered in the order of the line of succession. So you have Kinzo first, then Kraus, Nazi or whatever. Like it seems like it's presented in that kind of way. So then it's just also jumping to this person died on the 9th night. This person died on the 7th. This person died on the 1st. And I'm just like, we can't just list like these people died on the first night first or whatever. That's a little annoying. But, you know, what do I know?
The hierarchy, that's what matters.
When the seagulls cried again, none were alive. None. That's what it says.
None.
It says it right there. None.
Zilch.
And then it immediately goes to the and then it goes to the lesbian slumber party, you know?
Yes, it should.
Okay.
I mean, you know, that's what you do after the murder, right?
Okay, bonus memes.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Oh, the cough, Nyan. You ever had one before?
Yeah. Ever?
No,
Ever?
I'm too cool for that.
All right, the bonus memes. Okay, bonus memes. We had a little funny bit of Anjay getting made fun of by, I forget their name, Kasumi or whatever. The crazy aunt. And at some point in it, they see something about like a magical girl thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Some magical girl bit, yeah.
And then the joke continues with like the different types of like magical girls and like the devices they would have or whatever. Like Kasumi would have the compacts
the
thing
generational
for transformation.
gap caught me off guard.
Yeah. Anjay would have Sailor Moon like wand or whatever outfit going on. Maria would have a cell phone, which I believe that's a reference to Tokyo Mew Mew. I think I don't remember. Is that what that would be a reference to? I don't know. But then it's like, they make it.
And the compact is pretty cure, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Personally, I think it's a gun.
Base. Well, because they do have the mascot. When they show Sakutaro, they show another mascot before, and the other mascot is absolutely a Precure mascot reference.
The fucking ending page caught me so off guard.
The super buff Sakutaro.
I was fine with the super buff Sakutaro. It's the one right after where they show his full ass.
Yes.
It's like, what? And you. Thanks, Sakutaro. Can you go away now, please? Please go back to the cute little version of you. I don't like this.
No, you're talking with Big Shot Secretary now, okay?
Big Shot Sakutaro reminds me of Leomon, and they both make me uncomfortable.
What's
Why
wrong?
All right. We do have an afterword from Ryukishi here.
Is he going to do more trolling?
When does he not?
In this real world without red text. Hello, I am Ryukishi07. It is at this
Hello,
point
Ryukishi07.
in the very long saga of Umineko When They Cry that we mark a transition into Umineko When They Cry Chiru Scattering, which I'm assuming also means answer, or...
Cheater is the answers arc.
Okay. In episode 4, we meet Anjay Ushiromiya, who gives us an interpretation of this world that is different from those of the first 3 episodes. How did you readers interpret the incident on Rokujima after this episode? Anjay refuses to believe in witches and steadfastly holds to her belief that Eva is the killer. Yet, there are scenes where she speaks to Maria and Sakutaro. What does this mean? You cannot see it with... Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a line. I cannot tell you the answer to that question yet, but now that you've read through this episode, I think I can give you a hint. You cannot see it without love. Neither Beatrice's true intentions nor the emotions of Ava, the survivor. These things cannot be described by others. And without the red text of truth, how do we learn the truth in the real world? I beseech you to travel this story with an eye of love and an eye without love. I believe that these eyes combined, when you are lost, without truth in the real world, will give you just a tiny hint when you need it most. Now, for those of you lamenting the loss of Soichiro Sensei's art, there is good news. As it happens, he will be providing character designs for Ryukishi07's latest work. The title is Rose Guns Days, which when I went to Anime NYC, Manga Gamer, I believe it was Manga Gamer, was talking about that. They showed
They will
that
be
off a little bit.
localizing it.
Yep, so that's a thing. The title's Rose Guns Days. I am personally, I don't know anything about the series yet, but if I know Ryukishi, there will be some time loop thing involved somehow. Bro cannot write anything that's not a looping narrative. I don't know if it exists. I don't know. Okay. And I am once again grateful for all the help my editor, Koizumi-san at Square Enix. Cries. He wrote this. He wrote Cries. I hope you'll join me for the second half of Umineko When They Cry, as well as Rose Guns Days. Hopefully, the two together will give you very different looks at the Ryukishi world. So, we've done it. We have wrapped up episode 4. And with that, we wrap up the questions arc. No more questions. There will be no more questions going forward.
Not a single question left.
Only answers. Answers is all we're going to be doing. All right,
I see the questions. I don't because there's none left.
Nope, that's true.
So
That's true.
one more question before we dive into the answers arc, and of course, you know, our little PowerPoint slides. What do you think of Without Love It Cannot Be Seen?
I think it's cringe.
Children.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
They don't love money enough.
True.
Now we're getting real answers.
So, chat.
What do you mean
Oh.
without love it can't be seen?
Well, that is the thesis to Umineko. What do you think about that?
The only way
I
to
think-
solve the mystery is to be down bed, Nyan.
I think it's dumb. Love isn't real. I said it. I'll say it again. Love isn't real.
I think if
And
I
neither is
see,
magic.
I think if I see hot people, there will be love. So I think that
Okay,
that's
love
like a
and lust are
correlation
two
to that,
very
so-
different things, okay?
No, I
If there's
mean,
enough
it
money.
depends.
Close enough.
Depends.
Why doesn't Beatrice bribe Battler? Like, just give him $100 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. It's true. Why not? Why not?
As an argument for argument's sake, Battler doesn't have ties to Rudolph or the Uroshimiya family, or at least not ties that he is super attached to. So he himself hasn't expressed a need for the money. So there isn't necessarily an incentive to bribe him because he hasn't expressed a need for the money for himself nor for his dad, which is what people would assume because of the family debt stuff.
Okay. So
Like, if
Beatrice
he didn't tell his wife, he didn't tell his son. I don't know to tell you.
True.
well, it explains. I think Beatrice bribed everyone else. Then they're all trying to convince Battler.
Yeah.
Chap, how much subs would it take for you to believe in Beatrice?
A lot. If you have to ask, you can't afford it because
Just-
witches are bullshit. So, you know, that's
Well,
just
how much would it
So-
take?
well. Listen, I mean, if we're talking actual numbers, okay, don't listen. I can if you could round up a lot. I'm talking Ushiromiya money here. Before
Naturally.
they fucked around. Before they fucked around.
Is Runaway X Jessica a viable ship on AO3? Hold on.
Stop looking at AO3 tags!
Without love, it
But
cannot
why,
be seen.
though?
Okay.
I'm
Close the tab! I know you're still looking at it!
Anything good? Anything good?
I had the eating disorder tag in my history, so that's immediately what I pulled up. One of them is Shannon and Cannon, and the other one is Beto and Battler, and neither of them have Battler as the angsty, so I don't want it.
I am good. I do not like.
I do not like. True.
I would prefer my angsty battler, please. Thank you.
That's why I'm reading this. I'm not reading this because I'm smart.
I'm
I'm
here. I'm
dumb.
only here for angsty, food-deprived battler, please. Thank you very much.
Yes. Angsty food deprived battler and hot witch girls.
I'm in hell.
oh, waiter, more please. Not for battler though, just for me.
I don't know what you expected from me. I enjoyed Familiar of Zero.
That yeah.
that checks out. That checks out. Well, we're definitely not seeing things here. Okay, there's no love, no love.
Hell no.
You know what else I can't see? When the stream's going to end. It's almost been 3 hours.
Please let me go.
I was ready to wrap this up, but you guys wanted to keep rambling about stuff. Okay, so
You got to be on time. Okay, if you're late, we're all gonna be late.
I am ready to just kick all of you out of this call. Every single last one
So
of you.
next week,
So-
what are we
Howard?
doing?
So the plan is next week. It's going to be like an intermission stream. We will not be required to do any new reading for next week. I will be compiling up the schedule for the remainder of Umineko. And next week we will host a stream. You do not have to show up for it if you are busy with other things. But for those of us who do show up for the stream, we'll be discussing and potentially presenting whatever theories we would like to present in terms of the Umineko stuff that we have going on, based on the knowledge that we know and how we've been approaching the series so far. and we'll just mostly have fun with it or whatever. But it may not be as long of a stream as like some of the other ones that we've been for Umineko, but it depends on what people feel like talking about. So pretty much no pressure with the stream for next week. You don't have to do any reading for it. You don't even have to prepare anything if you don't want to. It's mostly just going to be people who do feel like showing up and feel like discussing about whatever theories that they want to. We will discuss, or people could just present without discussion if they want. You can do whatever you guys want. And then, or if it turns out that pretty much none of us really feel like we're yapping, then we could just skip next week or whatever. But what I do know for a fact is that 2 weeks from now, we will have a stream. We will be continuing Umineko starting at episode 5. So I'm going to be making up the full-on new schedule for the Answers arc of Umineko, and then we will go with that. So next week's stream will just be, if we do host a stream, it will be like an intermission, kind of like theory ramble stream, or some other meme. Again, I've been told, I would have thought for us to play the Umineko fighting game, but again, I believe it's still spoilers for us to play it at this point. So we will not be playing the Umineko fighting game.
Yes.
Well, when we finish, maybe.
Now, the other thing we can also do next week is we can do, I don't feel like doing it tonight, but we could do the tier list for the
tier
sus,
list.
the
Yeah.
episode 4
I
sus
would like
tier
to do
list.
that next week.
So we could do that next week, and we don't need to do it tonight because we're like already 3 hours in or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be
almost
good
3
after we
hours in,
present
so.
our theories too. Actually,
It's true. It's true. So, thank you so much, everybody, for showing up to another exciting week of Umineko discussion. We are now officially done with the questions arc. No more questions unless we have any for next week. But we are all set with the readings. Do not read more of Umineko until 2 weeks from now, or after next week or whatever. Because otherwise it'll fuck around with our theory stuff, potentially, depending on what you read. So, we'll be meeting next week, potentially, to ramble about whatever. We'll be yapping, Umineko-related yaps, but not potentially chapter-related yaps. And then afterwards, we will be beginning episode 5. How much do we read? I don't know yet. I haven't looked into how the volumes work for the Answers arc. It's probably going to be similar to how they worked for the Questions arc, though. So, we're pretty much going to be reading based on the omnibus volumes, probably. So I'll let you guys know the details about that. You'll see my posts about the new schedule in the book club Discord chats, which you can go to and be a part of if you go to discord.wolfborg.com. Or if you follow me on Twitter, twitter.wolfborg.com, or what's the other one? Blue Sky.
Okay.
Blue Sky. I mean, so I do have, so we host this on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. All right. Everybody on all the platforms love it, especially our Kick viewers, which are definitely not bots. They're all real people over there. All right.
Sure, Grandpa.
It's true. It's true. And you can watch these streams live or watch the VODs later. If you want to watch the VOD later, usually the VOD will live on YouTube. So if you are not able to make these streams live, you can view them on the YouTube channel afterwards. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in this week, and thank you so much to all of the Umineko fans who have reached out to us, both in the Discord chat and on the YouTube comments. I appreciate all of you guys, and I really love that you guys are enjoying our discussions about this as well, as we try to untangle the mysteries without losing our mind and failing at it, because several of us are losing our minds. I think Andy has officially checked out. And is just looking at AO3 tags the whole time. So I think.
So I would also like to add, I'm so sorry, I will make this quick, that I'm currently taking a class. I started school last week, and I'm currently taking a class about like narrative studies. And I'm reading this textbook that is basically a bunch of scientific papers trying to break down the like important parts of narrative, but Umineko is what I'm currently reading, so I'm trying to apply it to Umineko, and it's not going very well.
Base.
So that's about where I'm at.
Well, good luck with that. We believe in you. Thank you so much, everybody. Listen, someone out there believes.
Please, someone has to.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight.
Without love, it cannot be seen.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. This is our 9th episode about Umineko. Okay, so we're gonna probably also be having like 9 more episodes if it's about the same length or whatever, but we'll see how that goes. So a lot of Umineko still to come. We're only halfway there. Halfway there. Who are we rating tonight? I think Yusha-kun is on and doing the GTA RP VTuber stuff, right? Oh, we'll send you guys over to Yusha-kun.
Yay!
Go enjoy that. Ooh,
VTRP has been great.
hell yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye, stream.
Bye!
Enjoy. Goodbye.